Greetings, hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to DevChatter. Hopefully you are all having a fantastic Tuesday. We are going to go ahead and get started here. I would like to show you all magic powers. Watch as I write code without any hands at all. No, I'm just teasing. Up in the corner, you guys probably noticed, everyone, we have a guest with us here today on DevChatter. So that is our guest, Guy Royse. He has been here before, but I will go ahead and let him I don't know, say a couple of things about himself. Go ahead and talk,
Yeah.
Guy.
Hi, I'm Guy, and I'm here to. Yeah, I'm in the screen. Oh no, I looked at the stream, and now I'm all messed up. I've was on here. What was in October, I think. We did a chat room game, and Brennan and I go way back at Code Mash, which is in January. You should totally go to that if you're in the area. We'll be there. I'm just looking to have a good time here today, coding up some JavaScript with Brendan. Yeah, that's about all I got. Does that suffice as a couple things? I'm kind of rambling.
Yeah, sure, that works. There was no specific thing to mention, so you're good.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. So we are going to be doing some coding together, as I mentioned, and the things that we're going to work on. I have no idea if Guy is a Viking or Scandinavian, either one. Maybe he's both. And thank you for fixing up our tag here. So a lot of you are probably wondering, what are we working on today? And we thought we'd do an interesting new project. So I'm in VS Code, and we have an empty folder here. And, well, empty-ish. I mean, it's got one file in it. It's an index.html file.
Are we going to do something with the web?
Yeah, I think it might have to do with the web. That, or maybe I wanted to build a desktop application using HTML. Did you ever think about that one?
We could be building a mobile app using Ionic. That's possible too.
True. Okay. Anyway, let's get some more basic stuff in here, right? So, we need a head.
Yep.
We need a body. So, basics of HTML, everyone. And what we need, hi there, well, you know what, let's not do a p tag, let's do an h1. It's big and important that we say hello to everyone.
That's right.
Okay, let's see how well that's working. Let's take a look at our web page. Hey, there we go, that's classy right there.
And I can't see the web page.
Oh yeah,
we didn't solve that problem before we started the stream.
Yeah, in that case we'll do this.
You could. Oh no, we don't have a server running either, because I know with the VS Live show you can do.
Here we go, buddy.
The terminal sessions. Oh look, I can see the screen with a 60-second delay.
What? Why is that? Why would that be? No, I just screen shared you, buddy.
Oh, I was okay. Yeah.
You can see it on Skype. There you go.
I mean, I meant to say that's totally awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. So. With Blazor, you can do basic HTML5. Yeah, so, Janisku, we might actually do Blazor on one of these. I think we're going to do, this is going to be vanilla.js for the first one, but I will talk to you about what our project is. Also, hey, Janisku, Weeb Patrol, Will, hey, greetings, Greendolf, Senzuki, greetings, hello. Who else said hi? There were some other people. Wheatlaw, hello. Yes, we brought Santa back. Coated Beard, welcome. I probably missed someone. Hey Co. That's Co Super Smash Brothers Melee. Awesome, good stuff. At least that's what I'm guessing it, that those letters stood for. Okay, so we have an HTML website. If you notice the folder that we're in on this address, I called it Game Jams, and that's just because I didn't have a better name for it. So what do we want to build first? So this is a web page that we can pretty much do anything on. Why don't we just make a list of, let's just call it Game Jams, and let's make a list, right? An unordered list of li links, right? I don't know how we want to do this. I mean, we could do this a million ways, but... What do we want to? What did we say was going to be the first game that we did?
We were talking about doing Tetris, because that's a pretty straightforward one. I kind of like the idea of doing like a spy hunter kind of game too,
I don't know what a spy hunter game is.
where it's a top down view of a car on a road, and then it scrolls towards you as you play the game, and you just move the car left and right,
Oh, so you like dodge stuff.
dodge stuff, and then you can blow up all the bad guys' cars, of course, because
Hey
uh,
Suzuki. Hey Shaded.
no
Welcome.
game is complete without blowing up the bad guys' cars. So
Yeah, we can potentially do something like
just I was
that.
thinking throw it in the queue.
Yeah.
But we talked
So
about Tetris first.
well, let's do this. So we'll do tetris.html, right?
Yes.
And we'll say Tetris. And then we can duplicate this line. And what did you call it? Spy Hunter? Is that like an actual name of a game though?
Yeah, it is. So we need something else.
What, a car chase?
Yeah, sure.
Is that right? Chase?
S.
Yeah.
S.
For some reason I put it in, I'm like, that doesn't look right for some reason. And it looked way worse the other way, so. Oh, yeah. Okay, so Tetris car chase. There we go. So let's make these two. Do we want to put these inside folders or anything? Maybe games? Like that?
I think we should put each game in its own folder because it's going to have associated JavaScript files.
Sure.
So it'd be Tetris /
Index.
well, let's not do that because that's going to make let's call it Tetris.html because otherwise we're going to have a bunch of. Yeah. Oh God, I'm torn now because if we do /Tetris and do index.html, then
then you just have to go to
something
the
/Tetris and it works.
Yeah.
But then, let's call it index.html then.
Okay. All right, sounds good.
I can type the word index. I'm very talented.
Don't worry, Weeb Patrol. I have a feeling that Guy does not care if you say something like discount Richard Stallman. I think he would find it funny. See?
Yeah, that's actually pretty funny.
Yeah. He's a bearded guy. Like, if you grow a beard out that big, you've pretty much got to be okay. You got to be the kind of guy that's cool with that kind of, like, oh yeah, yep, sure. Compared to anybody else,
it actually totally works for me because so, I travel quite a bit and I use Uber, or I use Lyft actually, and so I upload my profile picture to Lyft, and then if you've ever used an Uber or a Lyft, you're standing there trying, it's a crowded area. You're kind of waiting to figure out, they're trying to find you. I just stand on the curb and just make myself prominent, and the car pulls right up to me and stops because oh, it's the guy with the beard.
Nice. Yeah.
Totally worth it. Life hacks with Guy Royse.
Okay, so we make a Tetris one, and then down here the other one's going to be car chase. So car chase. I really like a lot about VS Code. It's just quick and easy to use. So lightweight. Oh, we said index. Index. Okay, so we've got those set up. Where do we want to put our JavaScript? So clearly for each game, their own JavaScript files will go in with themselves. Any generic stuff we do should be somewhere else. What do you think? Just a /JS folder? Or
maybe. I actually think that's a decision we can postpone.
Okay, we'll delay that one.
Because we don't know yet. We're probably not gonna. We're probably gonna write Tetris, and if we get to car chase and find something common, then we can figure that out then.
Hang on. I'm just gonna do that for now. I think you saw what I did.
I need to follow you.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good idea. So I just copied the basic, Game Jams one that we had, and we'll call this one Tetris. I called that one Car Chase. Okay, so those are all saved. I'm going to load up this page real fast. Why am I viewing source on this without the original page up? So I go to Tetris, because I /slashed it. So let me not do that. We'll do it rooted from wherever we were. Because we're not really in a web page here, I'm kind of cheating. So this isn't really hosted anywhere. Car chase, Tetris. Okay, works. Navigation.
All right.
Okay, cool. So Tetris. We need to include some JavaScript. So I'm assuming, do you want to do this on the page? I'm thinking nothing on the page, but what's your thought on that?
I'm thinking nothing or next to nothing on the page.
Okay.
Every now and then I found it's useful to have a little tiny bit on the page, but let's shoot for nothing.
So do we want to call this one tetris.js then?
Absolutely. I'll go ahead and create it.
Okay, sounds good. I will not create this then.
JS. There we go.
Cool. Tetris.js.
And so is this going to be using the same basic animation loop that we did with the last time I was on the stream?
We can do a basic animation loop the same way, yes. I think that'll work out well.
Which means we'll need a canvas element, right?
Do we want to do classes or functions? What kind of structure do we want to do? So we're in ES6. We can pretty much do anything.
Yeah. Is there a preference with anyone else?
No classes. Will says classes. Classes
well,
it is.
He said it first, so that wins.
Yeah. And he wants us to do TypeScript, but so keep in mind we can do TypeScript for some of these. First one's going to be Vanilla.js. We're probably going to do at least one game in Blazor. That's part of the point of this, is that each game can be built a little bit differently than the others.
Yes. Okay, so how do we want to proceed?
That's a good question. Let's I guess let's do one of these. Export class Tetris. Tetris like that.
We don't need an export.
We do if we want to import
that's right,
it on the page. So on the page we'll import this.
Thing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we learned that in the last stream. That's right.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we need a constructor.
Yeah.
So constructor will have something and be open like that. I don't know what we necessarily want to put in the constructor. Maybe nothing for now. Maybe this is what does random setup, since we're just going to sort of load the page. So
do we want to just get our plumbing work and have it like just do a console.log?
Sure.
Just to, and then we can, or write a little bit of code that instantiates this, and then do a console.log to see that the indexed HTML is actually loading up the tetris.js using the export syntax in a file-based URL.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep. I know exactly what you mean. Make sure that these all wire together correctly, even though we are in a weird place because we're not running this in a full application.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do a new Tetris down here.
Anchor to you. How do I? Where's anchoring to you? I wanted to anchor to you.
If you go down to the bottom left in Visual Studio, there's a live share thing that's probably collapsed.
Yeah.
Expand it and you'll see my name, and you right click on my name. You can say follow participant.
Well, I'm kind of on you right now, so we'll see where it goes.
I mean, we only got 2 files.
Yep. Well, I just wanted to be anchored to you as you moved. So you're wanting to.
I am in. Where am I right now? I am in index.html. Oh, no, was in tetris.js because I think I'm following you. Yeah. So what we need to do in the index.html is do an import, or do the script tag.
Yeah, we want to do a script tag that pulls that in, and we want the source to be, what did we call it? Tetris.js?
Tetris.js, yeah.
Yep, that one. And then we want the type to be module. Again, what we learned on the last stream was the required thing.
Yeah.
So tetris.js type module, and then that should, in theory, automatically import and run. So
import, instantiate, and then run the console log, which we should then be able to see in the browser.
I think so, yeah. Let's find
assuming we bring the console up. So.
Okay, bring up the console, right up here. Click on the Tetris page. Access to file script from origin null has been blocked. Ah, see?
Yeah, this was exactly what I was afraid of.
That's what you were talking about, yeah. Let me...
Do we have to put a content security policy in our HTML page? Please don't make us have to do that. Hang on. There is actually a nice CSP generator that I don't know if it's nice or not, but CSP generators that.
Let's ask the interwebs.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing right now.
Cool. Good. We're doing the same thing.
Okay. Default source, all. Generate.
Yeah, I want to allow this, though. Oh, that's funny.
What's that?
I could just load up a special Chrome window. That's what they're saying. You could load up a special Chrome window that has it turned off. They might have the answer.
Yeah, there's a way to do Chrome with a command line that turns off.
Weed Patrol, yeah, we do it in our other project. Okay, there are extensions that you can add on that'll just that'll turn it off in that.
I'm trying to remember what the HTML syntax looks like for a CSP.
Okay. I don't think I have IIS installed, so.
There it is. The meta tag. Here, let's try this.
Okay.
I don't always reuse code, but when I do, I copy and paste.
Image source, HTTPS.
Hang on. That content security policy is not the one I use. It's just the syntax for
okay.
Putting it in HTML. Because by default, they go into your, I mean, a better way to do it would be with your header. Here we go. We'll go with the super secure one.
That just says, like, allow anything?
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, totally safe. We'll want to fix that when we actually put this hosted somewhere.
Yeah. There we go. And I think that, yeah, that all fits on one line pretty nicely. Let's just see if that works.
Okay. Tetris. It is the right one, right? Header. Yep, it's there, but it's not getting us out of that error. Hey, Stoolpenner, welcome.
Well, then I guess we don't need that. Yeah. It turns out if I click on the Skype window I'm seeing of your desktop, I can't do anything there. So let's get rid of that. Actually, I know we're going to run into this with something. We'll go back to it. What the hell?
Yeah. The let's see, .NET CLI run HTML page. Can it just run these?
Yeah, this is. I was telling Brendan earlier before we started streaming the way that I usually do this is on the Mac. You can just say Python's always installed by default on the Mac, and you can do Python-m simple HTTP server, and just spins one up on the folder you're in, which is super handy for this kind of stuff. But we thought, installing Python into his Windows machine 3 minutes before the stream started was probably a bad plan.
Alternately, we could just make a simple little web project, put that in there temporarily, and then make this not be a .NET Core application afterwards, and make it static after that, because then it'll make it work. So let's just do that for now.
Okay.
Which .NET New do I want? I forget what it is. Because I don't want that. I don't want that. I want Core empty, so that's just called web.
So is it .NET New Web?
Whoops, what did I click? That's true, I could just make a Node.js server. Definitely could do that.
There is a Node package that does that. I remember installing it a couple of years ago, or maybe a year ago. It totally doesn't have Bitcoin mining in it.
All right, so let's take our static JS stuff for now. So the index HTML, car chase, and Tetris, move them all into the www root. So we'll move those there for now. Not ideal, but should work. In here, we set that up. In our startup, did we tell it that we can use static pages? Hang on. .NET Core static page hosting. Static files in ASP.NET Core. Here we go. So inside of program CS, I just want to make sure that it's configured for this. Create default builder args. Yep, okay. And then use static files inside the configure in startup. There's the one we want. Just tells it, hey, you're going to host static files now. Anything else we need?
I don't know. I am not a .NET person anymore.
Yeah, hang on. Let me just make sure there's nothing else they tell us to put in here. I do not want directory browsing, thank you. Request to a folder, search for index HTML. Ah, okay. So I think we want that one as well. So I think these are the two that we want, and then we should be good.
Hooray!
Okay. So there we go. Fantastic. Software development, game development, educational, web development, and there. I don't think I clicked all the buttons to give us tags on this stream, but now I did. So
Yay.
.NET run watch. Alright, let's see what happens. So now this should watch this project for changes and automatically update when it sees them. And it should run on port 5000.
It also shows up on my computer.
Oh yeah, I forgot it does that. Cool, good.
So that's a bonus. So I can go to expense console.
Tetris constructor.
It worked.
Is that what we put in there? Yep, Tetris constructor. Cool. All right, fantastic. Hooray. Awesome. So that'll work. Not ideal to be in there, but hey, .NET Core is that's pretty lightweight browser and everything. You'll notice there was very little in here.
Well, and it's not like any of the code we write's going to be dependent on it, so we can swap that out.
Yes, exactly. Point. Yep, that's the idea.
I mean, eventually, I think the idea is we're going to put this on a GitHub repo and host it with GitHub pages, and then you could actually go out and play the games. So.
Yep, exactly.
I'm a bearded intruder.
Yep, bearded intruder. Okay, so we wanted to make some kind of a game loop, something like that in here. So, how do we
Okay,
want to
so
set that up? Do we want to make the canvas first? Let's make the canvas, and we'll
okay,
just put something in the canvas.
yeah, that's a good start.
So canvas. Do you want to give a
Growing up.
size to that?
Well, probably. We could go like old school VGA and do like 640 by 480. I'm joking.
I mean, we can if you want. We have some space to work with. And I'm okay with this not being super great for like mobile. That is not our intention yet.
Yeah.
So
Where did they go? Is it width? Well, so you put it in the tag. I can't remember.
I think it is in the tag. Yes.
And height equals. So let's see. How big would you want this to be?
We want it to be taller than it is wide. I think so. Maybe like, I don't know, 600 wide.
Okay.
And then like, I don't know,
1200.
I was gonna say like 1,000 tall because we don't want it to exceed our screen, right?
Okay. Yeah. What's our stream?
We're at
size?
1080, so actually let's maybe make that 800, so slightly taller than it is high, because...
We want to make it a little skinnier?
Well, we might put some extra stuff over there.
Okay.
Right? Like something on the side, like what's coming up next, or maybe it'll just be some pretty border or something.
Okay.
So there's the canvas. So then...
I'm thinking over here in the Tetris class, we probably want like a start function just to get the thing going.
Sure.
And then it'd be something like, let app equal new Tetris app.start.
Sure.
Gets us kicked off. If we were writing unit tests for this stuff, I'd actually advocate for putting lines 12 and 13 inside of the HTML so that it wouldn't run when we loaded the tetris.js into a test harness. But I don't think we care about that at the moment.
It would be good to get these unit tested at some point.
Yeah.
I would like to do that. That would be a nice way to go. Okay, so for our animation frames, so we'll have our start do that. So we'll keep it in here since these should be pretty simple. I don't necessarily want to separate out this logic yet. So why don't we do? We're gonna call a method when we start this that's gonna start it up. So we're gonna do this underscore. Maybe this is the animation.
Yeah, well, the animation loop thing is the it's window dot something, right?
Yeah, but I want to call it, right? So window dot request animation frame, and then we need to give it a callback. And I recall we had some trouble binding this, so
yeah, we did.
So we did this, right? We did a fat arrow.
Yeah.
This dot underscore and actually update.
Yes. And then so in here we'll have a underscore animation loop, and we'll have an underscore update, right?
Animation loop and update. No, we set animation loop. It is the.
Oh.
It's that. That way we can turn it off.
Oh, just request I got you. Request animation frame returns a function.
Yeah.
Okay. And then in update, the update will just get called every single time another frame happens. So that'll just be called repeatedly.
So we could potentially have a stop, right?
Yeah.
and the stop would say this.
Thus.
Window dot cancel animation frame this dot underscore animation loop, right?
Okay.
And so then we can
okay.
cancel it.
Yeah. And then in update, so if we did like say this,
Whew, it's gonna get messy, but sure.
then we're just gonna see.
Oh, I guess first time we'll just see it once, right? Because we're not gonna.
Yeah, we'd have to then call back after the update happens, right?
Yeah, as long as we didn't call this again at the end of the update, then it should just run the one time.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and see what the status of that is. So update, there it is, one time.
Yep.
Cool.
Excellent.
Perfect. And if we add this, we just need to call. We just need to set it to this again. So this line. Whoops. I was about to put it in the stop. That we could.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this will run non-stop, so that'll get annoying, but it's fine. I'm okay with that going. So there it goes. Update, and I just start getting numbers. Good job, Chrome. Way to figure out that you don't need to repeat that. So there you go. So non-stop loop telling me about the update.
Excellent. Okay, so we know our animation loop does a thing.
So in that case, let me remove this, and then we'll refresh that page so it stops counting. There we go. Okay, so all we have to do is put that in there and it'll start looping again. Okay? So let's draw something in the canvas.
Yes.
Unless we want to actually just put a border around the canvas to begin with. What do we want to put in there? Maybe we'll just...
We want to draw our Tetris walls.
Sure.
The side walls and the bottom. The frame. I guess it'd be the frame.
Yeah, draw frame. There you go. Draw frame. So we'll make draw frame, and then the other one we want is draw background.
Yeah. That's actually probably a good one to start with.
So background. We want to fill the whole canvas. We need the canvas. How do we find the canvas on the page?
Well, I put an ID on it, so it'd be document.getElement by ID. Would get the actual canvas element.
Do we want to do that there, or do we want to do that here?
I'm thinking we probably want to do that on start, or maybe even on the constructor.
Okay, so you are
probably on the constructor. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm even debating whether or not we just want to like.
I don't think we need a constructor actually. I think we just do it in the start.
We can do it in the start and not do anything in the constructor. Okay, so what did you call it?
The canvas. Capital
canvas.
Yeah.
Camel case, I mean, like that.
Yeah.
Canvas equal that. Actually, we're gonna want to save this. This dot canvas equals that. So there we go. Class level field canvas has the canvas, and we will attempt to use that inside of updates when we call. So on update, we want to call drawback. Well, actually, we want to clear canvas first off. We totally forgot about that one.
Okay.
Right, we definitely need a clear canvas method. So step 1 on update is clear canvas.
Yes. I'm going to go ahead and add the canvas in the start. Oh, you did it already. Never mind.
Draw background. draw
I'm going to go
frame.
get the context of the canvas as well, because that's the only thing we're ever going to be,
Yep.
we're going to be interacting with.
Except for on clear canvas, where we do need to know the height and width, which we could either save as their own variables. Why not just call update directly? Will, what do you mean just call update directly?
Basically have update be start, or call update directly. Oh. Yeah, because we're sort of bootstrapping the loop up here.
Yeah.
And so we got the same line on line 12 as we do 25. We did this the last time too.
Oh wait, request animation frame underscore update. You're wondering why we did the fat arrow thing on this?
It's really the distinction between an until loop and a while loop.
No, I think what change update to update equals fat arrow method. I'm not sure what Will means. Anyway, I want to. Did you get us our context as a? Yes, you did. So,
I'm noodling on what Will says, because I've run into this pattern before.
What is it? It's clear rect, because the other one's fill. Yeah, okay. And I get the context. So here we go. Okay, so we want to clear from 0, 0 to this dot canvas dot width.
Yeah, you're right. You can make the declaration of underscore update to be equal to an arrow function and then the actual values. But we can't do that from. We'd have to do that probably in start, I would imagine.
What's going on?
Well, basically, it's define our lambda one time up top and put it in a variable. And so this is what Will's suggesting.
Oh, yeah. Will is right. Yes, we could do that.
Yeah. The trade-off there is that we don't have a class level function. We have a variable that we define inside of another function. I could go either way. I don't have a strong opinion. I think the lambdas are fairly cheap to create, so I don't know if there's economy in necessarily getting rid of them. But then again, we're also creating them presumably with every frame, so that would, if anything were to give us a performance benefit, right? That might be worthwhile.
Yeah, it's the thing you do constantly. Yep.
Yeah. Let's table that as a refactor once we get this stuff going. I think that's worth considering.
Non-host functions don't give you stack information when they crash. Good suggestion there, Weeb Patrol. So there you go. So we'll get that in a minute. Okay, so we did an update clear canvas. We do that right there. And then what do we want to do? What do we want to draw in this background? We want to say this dot context. It's fill rect, right? Yes. And we need to get a style. Do you want to get us a style here? And I'm just going to fill this whole canvas. Actually, I'm just going to do this.
What's in the background of classic Tetris?
I have no idea.
I'm looking at images online now.
I'm going to guess dark gray.
There's one here. It's got a nice dark grid, like a dark blackish gray background and a slightly lighter gray grid.
Okay, so that could be part of the frame then that we draw on top of it?
That would work too.
So we're going to say this dot context, and we're going to say fill style equals... what do we want the fill style to be? We said some kind of dark gray, so it'll be like
333. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll fill in that, and then the frame we want to. We could do the grid with that. That could be the grid as well as the border. Either way, let's see what it draws when we do this.
Yeah.
So we're gonna draw it once and then not clear it again. So that's fine. We'll There we go. Okay, so we are drawing a nice big rectangle there. Which, based on that size, maybe we should shrink that a little bit. Just because
Yeah.
we're going to want to have this open a lot, which we forgot to factor in when we chose that size. So, look, we're going down to around the size you were originally suggesting.
Hooray!
There we go. That pretty much fits on screen there.
Well, the other thing you can do is you can move your display bar to the right.
True. Yeah, I could. That would actually be good for this.
There we go.
Yay. Okay.
Actually, if we do that, we could probably take it back up to the size it was before.
Yeah, but I like having it this window, like giving a little space so we can see some stuff behind it. Okay, so back into Tetris. So we have this. We want this to actually be looping now. I'm going to get rid of the console log that we were doing and the updates. And let's put the animation loop back in for now, so it will do this repeatedly. What do we want to do for a frame? Is there a way to draw there's a way to draw a box that does not have like a rectangle that doesn't have a fill, right? That we could do the borders of this?
We could just draw lines.
True.
We're just going to do borders on 3 sides, right?
Yeah.
I can think of 2 ways
to make a cup. That's a good point. Yeah, we're just doing 3 lines.
Yeah, or we could draw a rectangle that spills over the top, but that feels like a hack.
True. Oh, yeah, yeah. Will is correct. It is just rectangle instead of fill rectangle. So it's this dot context dot rect. Rect.
Get wrecked.
Yeah, exactly. And then if we made it like, I wonder what happens if we put in a negative number. Maybe that's what it would do. So let's just do 0. You know what? Same dimensions as before. And then what do we want this frame to be? Do we want this one to actually be black?
I think we want this one to be lighter colored.
You want lighter colored, so like that.
Yeah, sure.
Let's see what we end up with when we do this, and we'll see. I can't see anything on that. Do we want to make this whole website black?
We probably don't have a line style. Oh, all you did is draw a rectangle.
Fill style, color. Yes.
Are we? Yeah.
Oh, just stroke style. Yeah, that's what it is.
Stroke style. It's one of those things. Yeah.
Still don't see it. Oh, yeah, you define the rectangle and then you say, yeah, right, you have to call stroke on it.
Yeah, there's a function. I think there's a function called stroke rect.
Is there? I thought it was just that. Is that border actually on there? I can't even tell.
All C's is a fairly bright color.
It's very light, yes. It's kind of hard to tell.
Well, I mean, so it's very visible because it's, you know.
Well, not if the border around is white.
No, the border around it is
That I think it is drawing it. I think it is drawing it now. Here's how we can tell.
We need to set the width of our. We need to set the width of our line thicker.
Yeah.
That's really what we need to do.
Okay, add it, man.
Well, I need to figure out. Is it line width or stroke width? Maybe
line width. Yeah, you said the right thing.
Because consistency, right?
Yes. They're not consistent. Yeah.
Is it just an integer?
I think it can. I think you can put it in quotes if you want.
Let's do 10 and see what happens. That's probably way too much, but
yeah, well, it's too much, but that's fine. We should be able to see it then.
Well, that'll probably make it 5 wide as it draws it around. I don't know if it draws it in the middle or on the right or the left.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that means that we can set this back to that. We don't need a red border anymore. There we go. There's nice white light border, which was probably there the whole time. You know, we just couldn't see it because it wasn't, you know, enough. Okay, so now we have that. What happens if we put this at like height of say -5? Wait, that's X. I meant this one.
Yes.
Is
Probably we
cheat
want
that?
negative.
Yeah, buddy.
Does it clip it off exactly like we want?
Yeah, it left the top open.
And this answers our question about whether it's drawing in the middle or not, because it's still drawing on the bottom fatter.
Yeah, see, and then it's not quite right there.
So I think we need to take the size of the line into account when we do that.
Yeah, we need to use the line size as part of the math. There we go. Okay, so line size is 10. So
yeah, so 5 makes 5. So the width is -10.
let's make this a variable.
The width. It looks good now.
Yeah, it looks fine on this. With that, it should be 10 pixels in each one. I usually start my draw functions with const context. This context makes the drawing code shorter. Yeah, that you could do each time. That's actually a neat little hack.
Yeah. The propagation of this dot everywhere is one of the things I don't like about ES6 classes.
Yeah, but he's right. If you did this,
yeah. But the fact that I want to do that points out something I don't like about ES6 classes.
Yes, that means that they did something wrong when they designed this. The fact that someone would want to do this and that's a good suggestion is a problem with the way that ES implemented those. Okay, so this really should be based on something else. I want line width to actually be coming from a variable, so let's call that border width. And I'm actually just going to put this on top as a constant that we're going to call border width equals 10 for now. Then I'm going to come down here, set border width there, and that's minus border width. That's border width divided by 2, and this is border width divided by -2, right?
Yeah.
And thank you for fixing that.
It was just getting hard to read.
Yeah.
It looked hyphenated.
Yeah. I'm really used to my tooling fixing all the spacing for me. I'm out of the C# world. I'm just like, what? I type stuff in and it automatically adjusts the spacing. What? Your stuff doesn't just do that?
Excuse me. Again, I apologize for the frequent coughing here. I'm coming off the tail end of a cold, but that's probably true of half the people out there. So y'all are in good company.
Yeah.
Or I'm in good company. That's what I meant to say.
You're in good company? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so we draw a frame. We want to have a block up here and come down or something.
Yeah, I think that's a good next step. How much space do we have in the middle there now? So we've taken 10. Well, we got 380 pixels.
Yep.
And so, how wide do we want how big do we want our blocks to be?
I don't know. Let's how wide is Tetris grid? Thanks, internet.
Well, and we may actually want to make our canvas slightly wider so that our grid is nice even numbers, just to make our thinking about it easier.
All right.
Well, what was the answer on the standard grid size for Tetris?
Looks like they do 10 blocks across, is at least what some people are saying.
10 by 20. Okay.
Yeah, so 10 by 20. How much space? We said we left ourselves 80 with that removal, so we were 400 wide.
Yeah, so now we got 380.
So
380 divided by 10 would be 38 each.
38. So times 20. 760. Plus 10. 770. Okay, there we go. So we now know how tall this is supposed to be.
Okay.
And each...
Do we want to go ahead and bump up the size so that we can make our blocks an even 40 by 40 so that we don't sit there and say how many multiples of 38 this is.
Sure. Hey, come on! In my game that we move around on, we're 42 because 42 is the answer.
Well, that's true. We could do that.
So let's see. 40 times 20. Is that plus 10? Why did I just do 40 times 20 and then plus 10? So we're making this 810. And then the other one, we said...
Would be 420.
Yeah, before... wow. Guy, did you do this on purpose?
Do that on purpose, I swear.
Yeah. Yeah, totally innocent there,
just because
Guy.
I'm working from home.
Yeah.
Just because I'm streaming from Canada. I'm not actually.
Yeah, no, we know. Okay, so... Alright, so what do we got? We got... So we draw our little border, we draw that. Is everything still running okay with the new size? Alright, so it's a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I did not mean to click there. Okay, let's put that on. Okay, so I can see the whole thing. I can't see the header right now, but that's fine. You know what, I'm going to nuke the header for now while we're building this. We don't need to see the Tetris header. Goodbye, Tetris header. There we go. And now I don't have a scroll bar either, so that's glorious.
Oh, it was scrolling on yours?
I had a little scroll bar, yeah. So I actually use a 16 by 10 monitors, and when I stream, I actually have to switch one of the monitors to be 16 by 9 because, you know, the world got stupid back in, you know, a decade ago when they were like, everyone wants full HD, and I'm like, wait, you mean less? Full meaning 10% fewer pixels. Yeah, thanks, guys. Hey, Technician, welcome. All right, so we have that. Let's figure out how do we want to draw a block. I'm assuming block separate file actually for blocks, or do we just want to do the initial draw in here?
We could start in here. I mean, nah. Let's do a separate file for the blocks drawing themselves.
Okay, so we're gonna do export class.
Okay, so we got block.js there.
Yep.
Probably should open that up and see what you're doing.
Yep. So we're gonna do that. We'll make a constructor on this one also, whether we use it or not. Then on our block, what do we want to have? So the block needs some kind of image or shape or something like that. It needs spaces. Maybe the block is created, so the random block that's created in advance, maybe this is where it decides the type. So...
Yeah, we end up with a class that then has to draw itself 4 different ways. Or however many pieces there are.
What do you mean? You're saying you want to do
that? Oh,
you're
talking about block, not piece. Never mind.
Yeah. So yeah. I actually now that you mention it, I did mean piece. You're right. Block is what we want. So block is a rectangle.
Yeah. That should be.
And a piece is made up of multiple blocks.
Yeah, and the block is probably going to need to be told its color.
Yes, color. That's what it needs. So this color equals color. So there we go. And then we need piece as well. So you're right. We need piece.
Is the piece going to tell the block where it's at?
No, block needs to have its own coordinate because a block can be left there after a piece has been destroyed, remember?
Yes, okay.
So a piece gets placed and then the blocks remain there. So a piece is just a collection of blocks.
Right. So it needs a location.
Yeah, so we'll saying square, but yeah, that's square, block, pretty much the same thing. So
yes, I can see the chat.
Why don't you start adding the coordinates to the block, and I will start making the piece.
Okay. Let's see. It probably needs an initial coordinates.
Yeah, probably when you. Does it?
So when
it needs initial ones.
The piece is going to create the blocks that are part of it, and then
with the additional spots, and as the piece moves, it will move its own blocks, right?
Yeah.
Will, no, we're not destroy. So pieces, when they get placed, we don't care about the piece anymore. So we move pieces. When the piece goes away, the block should remain, is my thought.
Someone just said they tactician. You meant Guy Fawkes? If you tell me you met him on the 5th of November, I'm going to totally call shenanigans on that.
Yeah. Okay. So, nope, we don't need to do that. Hang on. Nope. Sorry, Guy.
What's that?
We're not including it
Oh,
that way.
that's right. That's right. We're going to do the
import it over here.
Yeah, that's right.
So
I'm paying attention.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
So we want to do import, and we are going to import piece, and that's going to be from piece.
Okay, yeah. So you got
piece.js, and then we want to implement. We want to bring it. We're probably going to need to know about blocks here also, so I'm just going to add it right now.
Yeah.
And this import definitely needs to go inside a piece, because piece absolutely needs to know about blocks. Okay, so when you create a piece, it needs to... So do we have the piece create itself, or do we tell it which type of piece it is, and then it creates that way? For now, you know what? The block, they're all going to be 2x2s for now. First block is a 2x2, Guy.
Yeah, I think we have a class for each type of piece.
Sure, we could extend this.
Yeah.
So for now,
but we'll start this with 2x2.
Silent TV. So this is actually called VS Live Share, and that's actually how he is in here typing in the same stuff, and that is inside of VS Code and Visual Studio both. We could be running either one. Piece, when it connects to the other, it is part of a bigger thing. Yeah, Janisku. So we're actually planning on removing the piece class when it gets connected and leaving the blocks where they are, and blocks stop moving once they are not part of a piece. Yeah, so VS Live Share works on Linux, Mac, Windows, wherever you happen to be.
Yeah, it's actually super cool.
Yep, it's really awesome stuff. We're building a little Tetris game together. We're doing a little one-off thing. So we're setting up basically this little game jam site where we'll just add new games and different stuff. So we're starting with Vanilla.js today. We're probably going to do something in Blazor at some point, something in TypeScript at some point, various stuff. So yep, it's really fun stuff. Welcome, everyone. Glad you're here. And I should click a couple of buttons while I'm thinking about it. Various links for anyone that cares. Okay, so the initial piece, we're not going to worry about it. We're going to create blocks. So we're going to say this blocks equals a collection of blocks. And since we said we're just going to start this one with stuff right now, we're just going to say new block, right?
Yeah. And that would appear at...
So how did you set up the coordinates for that? So color and then X and Y.
Yes.
Whoops. I forgot I'm in this. I tried a Visual Studio shortcut there. So the block will be red to start with, and then we will start them at... so starting X is going to be somewhere in the middle of the screen. We're 10 spaces wide. I believe in classic Tetris, they start to the right-hand side of the screen. So, how wide are we again? You made us 420 wide.
Yeah, so we are 10...
so the middle would be at 200.
Let's not do the math here. Let's do the math inside of the block class.
Okay.
And so we could just say absolute positioning. Not absolute, but relative.
So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 are our indexes.
Yeah, 0 through 9 and 0 through 19 for...
So in that case, we want to be at... So our first block is at 5, and then... Which actually, we could put this one in the middle now that I think about it. So we could say 4 and 0, right?
Yeah.
And then... So we would have 4 and 0, 1 and 0, and we have 4, and these would be at 1s, right?
Yes.
So we have 1 in each of those spots. Those are our 4 blocks for the square. Yeah, Will. I did hit the wrong keyboard shortcut. You are correct. I did the duplicate line, which would have in Visual Studio given me the multi-line select. So I'm used to the wrong shortcuts there. Oh, so I did. So the multiple line thing in VS Code, I hold Alt and Shift, and I can also actually I can just hold Alt. So Alt and click around, and VS Code can actually let me type in a lot of places. So watch this; it'll be insane.
Ah!
Yeah, so I can type basically wherever I want with that. So VS Code's multi-line selection typing is really crazy.
On the Mac, I believe it's Command. Or no, is it Option?
I would guess Option.
Yeah, it's Option.
Yeah, because Option and Alt are usually the same thing between them. But you can do that same kind of thing in Visual Studio as well. So it's actually been in Visual Studio for a couple of versions. Might be, is it 2015 that I think it showed up in Visual Studio? It's quite nice. Okay, so that gets us our basic block. So inside a block, you called these starting X and starting Y. I almost want to call these like X index and Y index, and not even bother with the fact that it happens that they're starting ones.
Well, I immediately inside of on line 4 and 5, I assigned them with this.x and this.y.
Yeah, well, I mean that's because that's what they are. But I wanted to say, well, I guess we could do it with we could do a JS.comment in a minute to explain it. But anyway, so move and draw. So draw we definitely want to do. So let's do draw.
Yeah, I didn't think we need. I was just sort of stubbing out move. So draw is going to need the context.
Draw needs the context. Yeah. So CTX. And then
we can basically crib the code for drawing a rectangle.
On the other one, yeah. Which we did down here.
The drawback be the draw background, so it'd be fill rectangle.
Yep. With this.
Did you? Yeah. Did you grab it already? Oh,
hey. I have it on my keyboard.
And then we'll fill style is going to be
color.
Yeah, this.color.
You know what? I just put in the word red. Why don't I make this correct?
Red will work, actually.
Yeah, but I would rather do this. So that way we can adjust this the type. And actually, maybe I should extract that as a variable. We won't worry about it for now. We'll get it we'll get it later.
Yeah.
Okay, so this.color. And
then the beginning and end would be...
We need to translate from starting X and starting Y into what the actual coordinates are.
It should be just X times 40 and Y times 40. Right? So it should just be this.x times 40, comma, this.y times 40.
And then those are 40 and 40.
What's
so
that?
The width and height are 40 and 40.
Yeah. And that just screams constant.
Yep.
Const
hang
block
on.
size.
Oh, I already
equals 40.
I had it on clipboard. Okay.
What's that?
I had it on my clipboard, but sure, yeah. Go for it. Because I stole it from where we had it before. But that works. That's great.
Okay. And then the piece then probably has a draw function as well, right? I'm
yes.
gonna hop over to the piece.
Yeah. Actually, no, we don't need to draw the piece. We just need to have access to all the blocks of the piece. We can tell something else in the program to just draw all blocks regardless of where they are. Piece is just going to move the blocks.
Okay, so then Tetris is going to look at all the pieces, probably.
Yes, so the Tetris game is going to know about all the blocks.
Piece.blocks.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I think, it's really just drawn blocks. It should not care about the piece. It needs to know about the currently moving piece. There should only be one moving piece, one next piece, right?
Actually, it probably doesn't. It probably doesn't matter either way.
Well, it needs to know about the piece because it needs to send a move command as you click buttons.
Well, what I was thinking is that we're still going to have to know whether blocks are part of a piece or not. So we're gonna have, we're gonna have a current piece in our Tetris game, and we're gonna go to the blocks on that, and we're gonna loop over those blocks and draw them, and then we're gonna loop over all the other blocks that are already at the bottom and draw those.
So well, you'd be calling them loose blocks at that point. We might as well just draw all blocks.
Or we could just say piece.draw, and it could loop over its blocks, and then the other loose blocks could draw, and it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Yeah, hang on. Let me do this.
What it means is the function that iterates over them would be in 2 places, and so it would be better to have that in the Tetris class for now, probably. So I think I'm on board.
Manager.
A block manager?
Yeah. Which we can.
Like super...
I don't
know. Okay, let's.
What does it have? It has this dot blocks, collection of blocks, and then you can add blocks to it. So add blocks.
Is this? And then you hand it the piece.
You give it the blocks from the new pieces. Yeah. Yeah, you could do that. So we don't need the pieces at all. So the blocks, as soon as the piece touches the bottom, piece goes away, and we're just managing blocks. Because you're right, Will, when we clear out a line of blocks on the bottom, we can do that from inside of here. So this can grab all the blocks based on their coordinates and remove all the ones that are a completed row.
So with the block manager represents all the loose blocks. Is that what we're doing here?
Yep, exactly.
Okay, and then whenever a piece actually stops, then we just add blocks to it.
So the block manager. I was actually going to tell this. I was going to tell this that this is. I was actually just going to say when we create the piece, we can just when the piece enters the board, we can give them all to the block manager. This tells them to draw.
Oh, and then the piece is just responsible for updating the position of the blocks.
It's just updating position of blocks. It does not draw blocks. Okay. Yep.
I do not. I like that a lot.
Yes, this just moves blocks. So this is why don't you do the add blocks, and I'm going to start adding the pieces stuff here. So we need move.
Okay, and then it would be this dot blocks dot. Let's go with concat. Does concat do it in place or not?
I don't remember.
I always have to look these up.
Yeah, there's a million things that you just look up when you need to. So we'll say block dot.
I'm looking it up right now. So.
Sounds good. So this block move direction.
It returns a new array. Okay, good. That's what we want.
Okay, so we'll move the blocks like that. So that'll move all the blocks, and then in here, inside
there we go.
This needs direction.
And then the block manager is going to be the thing responsible for drawing all the blocks as well, right?
Yeah, it will call draw on the block manager. So let's. Yep, and then it will just call draw on each block. Yep.
And then and blocks, this dot blocks dot.
Yep. And then a for each on that.
And then it would be block dot draw.
Block, draw, pass in the context. Yep, that sounds right. Okay, so we want to...
I think we have enough to actually put a piece on the screen without moving.
True, yeah. We should be able to put a piece on the screen if we go back to Tetris and just add a piece when we start, maybe. And we tell this, so this needs a, we need a block manager, so we'll create a block manager.
Where are you at? You in?
I'm in Tetris.js. New block manager. Can you get me my my include at the top for the block manager?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. So we make a new block manager.
Oh, you've already got one.
Oh, did I? Oh. No, it automatically included it when I did this. So VS Code added it automatically because I tried using Block Manager. I don't know whether that's going to work without the .js on the end. We'll find out in a second. Hey Ed, welcome.
Oops.
You guys know each other, right? Ed, you and Guy, Ed and Guy, you guys know each other. You must know each other.
Oh, hey Ed.
Yeah, see.
Where am I going to see you next, Ed?
So we called it draw, I assume. Yep, draw, and then we pass in the context. This .context. Okay, and let's see what happens when we go here.
I'm getting an error saying it can't find piece.js. So I think we need a ./.
Yep, we need a ./ in the beginning of those.
I think the JS is not required because that's just like I think in fact we specifically don't want them.
Hang on, do we maybe just want that instead?
Okay, so we'll next see each other in London, huh? Cool.
Whoops, hang on.
You're not going to be at CodeMash, Ed? Sorry.
.js. No? What is it not like? Failed to load module script. The server responded with non-JavaScript MIME type of empty. Strict block. I don't know what that's complaining about.
I don't either. Yeah. Exactly. What's going on?
I'm not localhost right now. I'm localhost.
Yeah. Server responded with a non-JavaScript MIME type of. Oh. There was a content type you had to add to the JavaScript modules in order to make it work, wasn't there?
There was? I don't remember that. I know I had to say type module is that. I don't remember anything else weird about these. Let's check. So heading over to. Let me pull up my source code on the other one.
Now we added the .js to the imports, and it still didn't work. So we're doing something else wrong.
If an import doesn't have JS, it will fail anywhere in the chain. I don't think we actually need block there, but failed to load module script. The server responded with a non-JavaScript MIME type of that. That's not the one I wanted. Where is the...
Anywhere in the chain. Oh, that's a good point, Ed.
Do I need a dot in front of the import?
.js doesn't have it. I added it.
And I can put it on those ones too. There we go. Okay, so that was it. Yep. We needed to have those dots and the JS.
There we go.
Okay.
Belt and suspenders.
All right, fantastic. So let's create a piece now. So on start, maybe we'll create a piece. This dot maybe
there's
current
only going to
piece.
Yeah, there's only ever going to be one piece in active anyhow.
Actually, let's just call it piece, and then we'll have next piece also. Right?
Oh,
New
yeah,
piece. Yeah, because there's a preview of the next one, but this is the
That's
moving
right.
one. So then let's say block manager, this dot block manager dot add blocks, and it's going to be blocks. So when we add a piece, we'll do that, which actually, now that I think about it, we could just, this is fine for now.
We
So
could say add piece, as that's what you're thinking, wasn't it?
I was thinking that, or maybe have the piece automatically put itself in the block manager. Like give the piece the block manager and have it put them in.
Yeah. This is good for now.
Yeah,
it does feel a little bit like a law to meter violation, but
there's our piece. Okay, cool. We kind of want to separate the way we draw those blocks, though. I don't, because they need to have a border.
Yes, they do. Well, fortunately, we have this block class that encapsulates the idea of drawing a block.
Yes, exactly.
And so, I'm going to say I'm in there right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull out the this dot x times block size plus this dot y times block size, and just pull those into variables so we get the math is a little easier to see.
Yep. I agree. Sounds great.
X equals, whoops.
That is not the right line, Guy.
It's totally the wrong place. You know what it is, honestly, is I've got this MacBook Pro.
We're blaming the hardware now. Got it.
I am, yeah. Only a poor craftsman blames his tools. But it's the those super flat keyboards that are on the new MacBook Pros. I always use an external keyboard on this thing because it's such a pain in the butt to use. And then when I'm streaming, I'm typing on the keyboard, so it's hard to type. That's totally what it is. Yeah. Okay, so we want to make the block size. I think we want to do. Let's do a +1. And a +1, and then the block size here can be -2. -2. So that'll put like a 1 pixel border around each block, which will result in a 2 pixel border around everything.
Yeah, roughly speaking. Yep. There we
see
go.
What,
that looks good. Smaller? Yeah, I like it.
Excellent.
Const there instead of let. Yes, these are consts. You are correct.
They are. And we should probably do one for.
There we go. Cool. All right.
Still works.
So that does nicely, and refresh. We're still good. Okay, so now we want blocks to be able to move in a direction that we ask them to move. So we probably want to do we want letter direction onto this, and then convert that into like a more useful thing. So direction.
I think we just want to do for move. I think we want to do absolute, not left, right, but just go to this new location, like in a teleport kind of sense.
So so I was actually going to do 2 different movement kind of things. I was going to say like this is move direction, and then there's an internal move that that translates to. So left becomes move, and then
I was thinking in terms of when we go to move a piece, then left and right's fine, but when we go to rotate a piece, the blocks are going to move around significantly.
True.
And so if we just make this guy just say go here, then it just goes there.
True. So here's what I was thinking. I was thinking like move left would be like, we call an internal move and say like this dot that. We don't have to do
Yeah.
it this way. I just wanted to show you what I was thinking, and then
Yeah,
we
yeah,
would
yeah.
do right, and then a rotate would be like a big change. So yeah, we can put that movement concept somewhere else if you want.
Yeah, well, I think the left-right movement is on the piece.
Oh, so you think we move the piece this way and it shifts all its blocks
Right.
the same way?
Yeah, that
Um,
way, then the blocks just are responsible for saying, I know where I'm at, and that's all it knows. And then the piece is responsible for saying, well, I've got these 4 blocks
so
in my
maybe
piece.
maybe this takes X change and Y change
Yeah.
only then, and then so this would receive. So this
It's
would
really just this dot x equals x change and this dot y equals y change. And
yeah, we'd say plus equals X change, and this dot Y plus equals Y change, right?
okay, that wasn't what I was thinking, but I like that better actually.
Oh, what were you thinking? Out of curiosity.
I was actually just thinking it was just a shortcut to say this dot x equals x and this dot y equals y. But this is actually better because then the piece doesn't have to know where any of its blocks are at. It just needs to know how their blocks move relative to their current location when it rotates. So this is better.
Yeah, I mean, piece is still basically going to do that same concept.
Right, but piece doesn't have to say, well, I know that I'm actually my blocks are in all the way on the left. And so
yes, we do have to account for hitting the sides of the wall too.
Yeah.
Which maybe piece movement will account for that on the blocks. Because we need to worry about that.
What I'm thinking too.
Yeah, because we need to account for that on rotating too. Left equals straight left, right equals strafe right, down equals fall, up equals rotate clockwise. Yeah, basically, Nakey Super, that's the idea. Yep. Because there is no upward movement. So up needs to be a rotate. So move. For any given block needs to be a certain amount. Okay, so if you move left, every block moves left.
Yeah.
So Ed's going to kill us on the switch, apparently. So does this where we... So this is where we would receive a... So piece is where we would get left, for example. Do we want to do this as switch? Alternately, we could... we could just take this as move left and move right on this, yeah. So move left. Sends these all with a -1
and a 0.
And then move right. Gets a 1 and a 0. The piece can be manually moved down if someone wants to manually move it down.
And the game would presumably call the move down method as well.
Yes. And that always goes that way. And then rotate is the last thing. Which
in a 2x2 piece is going to do absolutely nothing.
It's going to rotate all those blocks, thank you very much. I don't know, how do they rotate? That's a good question.
There's a specific standard on how each piece rotates. Because there's, I looked it up because we were doing a Tetris kata one time years ago.
Okay.
And there's actually like transformation diagrams on, this piece rotates into this specific way. Because what you don't want is if you rotate it wrong, it can drop faster than you want it to, or it could jump up a line.
Yeah. Right? You don't want to let someone go back up a line.
Yeah.
Based on this.
Yeah, that's way worse than making the game harder. So, but for now, we don't need to solve rotate.
That's true. We don't have to rotate yet.
I'd like to, and we can leave it in there because this is what it'll do on a 2x2 piece. It won't do anything.
Rotated?
Rotated, yeah.
Yeah, totally rotated. There we go.
Yeah, totally rotated.
Yeah, rotated.
Yeah. And
Okay.
yeah, I want to see the piece move left and right. That's what I
Okay,
want to
so
see.
let's add. So we want to add some kind of movement.
Yeah.
Then. We can do that. Something going on in chat. I need to see.
Sorry, I keep reading Ed's comments.
New, throw not implemented exception. Yeah, basically, except that we're being nicer than that. Okay, so back in our Tetris,
I just want to mention Z Doctor said it's a dangerous time of year for have the beard that I have, and so I got two thoughts on that. I just wanted to share. One is that's actually my plan for retirement. Is I want to be a mall Santa because I figured I could get paid for my looks and show up drunk, and it would be great. And the other thought is that actually I don't know. I lost my other thought, so that's all I got. Yeah. So switch yuck. Sorry, I'm reading through the comments here. Keep coding, Brendan. You're doing great.
Sounds great. I'll keep it up.
Yeah, functional programming does help for this kind of stuff, Ed.
I mean, we could do that if people really want us to.
We're missing a semicolon on line 14.
Sounds good. You can fix it.
There we go. Yeah, I totally got your Santa letter.
Oh, that's good. It's always nice to know that people get those.
Excuse me. So, okay. Back to the code.
Key down. This dot. Key. Wait, didn't I declare that up above? Nope, I didn't underscore it, which I should have.
Yeah.
I'd rather have the autocomplete for that part, though. There's my key down handler, so there we go. And let's get us the same thing for update. Right? We can do the same. That's basically what we were getting yelled at about.
Let's make sure this works before we do this, because remember the last time we tried calling bind and it didn't work the way we thought it should?
Yeah, might. Hang on, let me actually put something on this, on key down.
Yeah.
So on key down, we want to take in the event, and we want to say Ed's favorite, a switch, and we want to say event dot key. Is it key? Key. I don't know what it is. Is it key? Is it key code? Anybody remember?
I'll look it up.
Okay, thank you. And actually,
down. You know, it hasn't changed in 20 years, so why would I totally remember this?
No, it hasn't. JavaScript key codes. Sure, thank you. W87. Thank you, website. That's super useful. 87. Up is 38. That's W. That's up. Okay, so either one of those we'll accept because we're going to do WASD keys, because of course we will. Oops, why did that case over like that? And then A is 65. Left is 37. Why are you spacing over like that thing? Am I messing something up? S is 83. Down is 40. Right is D is 68. Right is 39. I have no idea what I typed in there, so thank you for fixing whatever it was that I had there before.
It said up.
Oh. Did I miss or is Will talking about the previous semicolon? When you select, you can, oh yeah, the Shift Alt down thing that I accidentally did before I could have done instead. Do we want a default on this that does anything? I don't think we do.
It's not hurting anything for the time being.
True. Okay, so what do we want to do in these? We want to grab our piece on left and right and tell it to move left. Piece, move left. And
Parentheses.
What's that?
Gotta invoke it.
Oh, yeah. I know how to code.
And we did a move down as well, right?
Yeah, we did move down.
There we go.
Which for now is the only way to move down, because it is not automatically going to move down.
Right.
And actually, let's have this one do update. Even though we don't have it yet. That'll rotate. There we go. Even though it doesn't do anything.
Okay.
Cool.
I think that's all we need, right?
We wired up. Okay, so we add an event listener on when we call start. We add the handler there that we bind it to. Stop,
totally
we
works.
could get rid of it. Oh, did you already try it?
Yeah.
Remove
I found
event
a
listener.
bug. Of course I found a bug. We need to be adding a padding at 10 before calculations for where to draw blocks.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I'll do that real quick.
Okay, sounds good.
Are you showing it on the stream already?
I'm here. Go ahead and change. Make the change. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Okay, so I'm in block.js. Const.x equals this.x times block size plus 10 or plus 1 plus 10. Exit, yeah, that should do it.
Why don't, instead of calling it, like, let's make a constant for that, right?
It also totally didn't work.
Well, here, let me take a look.
Did I not save the file?
Maybe not. I don't know. I haven't refreshed this in a while, so let me go ahead and run it. Works on mine.
Okay, it's working now.
Yeah,
okay.
It totally rotated. Yeah, it totally rotated. Oh, I can't go back up. Oh, I'm stuck down here, and we ignore walls. What? What walls?
It does keep track accurately though.
Yeah, it does. So you can come back on.
Yeah. And then at the bottom, it lines up nicely.
Yeah, we definitely scroll off the screen though. So how do we prevent the movement off the screen?
I think for left and right, that's simply a matter of when we call move with the change. The block won't allow itself to. No, that's a terrible idea.
No, I think we want it to be on piece.
Yeah, it totally needs to be on piece.
Piece needs to understand that it can't go beyond the borders. Like, it can't send any of its blocks beyond the borders, I think.
So I have a half-baked thought.
Okay.
Maybe not. Do we want to push this up to GitHub so people can start playing with it now?
Sure. Actually, yeah.
Because I feel like we've written a lot of code. We haven't done any Git commits.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
And just you can go set up a GitHub repo and GitHub pages real quick, and then people can actually go to the URL.
Oh yeah, the page is going to be more complicated, but yeah, we can do that.
Well, you have a DevChatter GitHub account, right?
Yep. Well, it's my GitHub account, and I just connect to a DevChatter organization. But yeah.
Okay. So what you can do is
call this Game Jams.
Mm-hmm.
We'll initialize.
Do you have a devchatter.org or .com or whatever domain?
We have a .com, yeah, but
do you have it set up through the GitHub Pages?
No, it's not GitHub Pages. We're a static YMIO site.
Okay.
Not ideal for putting this there. What? What do they call? What? Do they call this node? Oh, why do they always do that? All right, I'm gonna skip the git ignore for now. We'll add one. We'll add in our own stuff later.
Yeah.
License public. Create a repo.
We probably wanted to create an empty repo, right? Did we do a git init on our side, or have we looked? We haven't committed anything, have we?
I haven't yet, which is why. So what I was going to do is I was going to go into that location and start committing those files. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I want to clone a repository. And
Microsoft bias stream.
Yeah.
I'm using a Mac right now, so and I'm using Mac OS. So.
Yeah, you're using a Mac and you're not even running it on Windows.
Yeah, I know, it's amazing, right? If I was really hardcore, I'd be running Linux on my MacBook.
Yeah, destination already exists. That's because that's where I want it. I accidentally clicked a button I didn't want to press. Just wait. Visual Studio 2015 is trying to open on my computer right now. It has not been open in a long time.
So have I just totally messed everything up, haven't I? This is all my fault for suggesting that we push our code somewhere safe.
Yeah, hang on a second. Let me do this. We're gonna close the program, and then
do a git init dot.
No, I wasn't gonna do that because I want to clone it into this folder. An Explorer window here. Git shell. Because I'm just going to clone it here manually instead of using the tooling, because the tooling is complaining about it. So now I'm inside of that folder. And then, where was it? Cancel over here. Yep, please put that on my clipboard. Copy that. Wait, this wasn't the whole thing, was it? No, okay.
And then you want to do a space dot at the end.
Yeah, so space dot, so it doesn't make a new folder. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not an... Oh! I won't do it because it's not an empty directory.
So I would delete the game jams repository, do a git init from here, and then just push it up and recreate it. So
go back here, delete this one, the game jams we just made.
Yeah.
So settings and delete this repository.
Are you sure? Yes.
Hang on, guys. They want me to log in. They're like, hang on.
Crazy.
Okay.
Microsoft biased, Mac endorsed, Linux sponsored stream. Sounds great.
There it is.
Okay. So now, what we could do actually, because the only thing we actually care about is the www root folder, right?
Sure.
We could go in there and create the git repo there, and then we could just push up the www root folder. You
True.
know?
Yeah.
So I can. I don't want to do too much on your machine for you, but.
Okay, so that's initted.
Now you can do you can do a git remote add. Oh yeah, commit all our code.
Yeah. Well, let's do this first. Git commit. We'll just call this initial Tetris start.
Okay. And now it's a git remote add, and then whatever the URL is to that. And you should have a instruction to do that on. If you go to the GitHub repo that's empty, it'll.
Well, I need to make a new one, don't I?
Yeah, we need to recreate the same repo, and it'll give you instructions on. It'll give you exactly the stuff to copy and paste to make it work.
Game jams. That's what we called it.
And then it just created an uninitialized. I think it's an uninitialized repository. I can't remember the option. I've done this 1,000 times, but I can't remember how to do it.
Telling it not to initialize. Okay, here we go. So add it, and then add the remote like this. Gave me a code to copy, and then it wants me to push that.
And that's just git push.
Okay, there we go.
And then you should be able to, in GitHub, just say make this GitHub pages, and it'll work.
Okay, let me try it.
Yeah. I can't see your screen to help you out there, so.
Yeah, hang on.
I'm assuming you're having it so it's not on stream.
Yep. Where do I do this? Here, continue making progress on something. I will anchor to you.
Okay. Where are we at? Oh, we wanted to see it move. So we were talking about the piece moving off the board. We want to probably fix that. And that's probably going to be knowledge in the piece. And so when we move a piece left or right, I'm guessing move left needs to make a check to see whether it should do that or not. I'm just going to start vomiting out some code here. Let's see if we can go this dot blocks dot any or some block arrow function dot is it x? Yeah, is less than 0. Yeah. No, if it equals 0.
It says it's building a page.
True of any of them. So if the x coordinate is at 0 on any of the blocks, don't move left.
Yes, that makes sense. If any of the blocks have hit 0, it doesn't move left, and we can do the opposite
same thing
for right. Yeah.
9. Except I totally did this backwards.
Wait.
If block x is greater than or equal to 0.
Oh, yes. If they're greater than... If, wait, no.
If it's greater than 0, then you can move left. No?
No, they'd need to all be, not some. They'd need to all be. If all the blocks are greater than 0, then it can move left.
Yeah, so it's every.
Yeah.
De Morgan's law.
And yep, make that actually greater. Everyone has to be greater than that, and then the other one everyone has to be less than 9. Because something has to be allowed to move to 9.
Yep. Okay. Cool. And then for down.
Yeah, as Will mentions, you also could have short-circuited instead. Like, and just done a return instead of a...
Yeah. That would have been another option rather than inverting the if statement.
Yep.
And if block.y, I don't think I want to do this one.
We need to, like
because it feels like it's going to change as soon as I write it. Because once the blocks stop dropping and then get frozen.
Yeah. So, well, you might be able to move down to the bottom row. So we should certainly not let you move down past the bottom row. So we could still put that safety on there, but likely what's going to happen is a block's going to land on another block. And we'll do something else about it.
So if block.y, if all the blocks are less than 19.
Yep.
And then 19.
Yep. So we do allow you to click the button to go to the bottom row.
Yes.
And Will is right. So drop could be different from yeah, he means drop like all the way down, instead of just moving down one time. We could maybe do that. Let's worry about that one later.
Yeah.
Let me see. Is the page up yet?
Did you set it up in GitHub as a GitHub page?
Yeah, it's supposed to be creating it. Whoops. Clicking the wrong buttons.
I just thought it might be fun that whenever we push out updates, people could actually go out and hit them.
It says your site is published.
Okay.
This is not found. Guy, let me... oh, that's where it's supposed to be. It says it's out there. It lies, it seems, though.
I don't see it when I go out to DevChatter. Is it a private repository?
Shouldn't be able to be a private repository. My account doesn't make those.
Is it?
Oh, I made it in the wrong place.
Is it on your GitHub?
Yeah, I put it on mine, apparently. That was a screw up. I will move it. Transfer ownership.
Okay, so while we're doing that, okay, so this is move left, move right, move down. I really want to. Can I start the server back up?
Oh, I will .NET. Oops. Run watch. Oh, whoops. Am I on the wrong place? Yes, I am. There we go. Should be running again.
Okay. Okay, so unfortunately no one else can see me doing this, but go too far right, doesn't go too far left.
Let me load it up.
Yep, it totally works.
Okay. I get held by those borders there.
Yeah, excellent. I can't move up.
Yeah, and you get trapped on the bottom. You cannot click down below the bottom. So we slide around. When we hit the bottom, we should make a new piece. Or when we hit the next piece, we should make a new piece. Something along those lines. But yeah, that seems to work.
Yeah, great. Yeah, that's a good point, Will. The other thing, in fact, favor of doing instead of ever doing sum is that it was easier to think about.
Sum is easier to think about than every?
Yeah. So the positive case is usually easier to get your head around than the negative case in if statements.
Usually, yes.
So
Okay, new
that will be a
location.
refactor.
That should have the game, so everyone should be able to play it, and it works.
It works? Cool.
Yeah, so you can go here and play. This one does not have our boundary controller yet, see? So we can go off the borders, but when we commit that, it should get updated there and make it playable. So, sweet.
Very cool.
Yep.
Excellent. Okay. Well.
Very nice website.
Okay, so we got a block moving around on the screen. Do we want to make it auto drop? Or do we want to make it stop when it hits other blocks? We want to do the it's frozen in place.
Enforce basic borders. Let's get it to stop when it hits something so that we can start getting a new piece.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and push that change. So that'll update for everybody.
Yeah.
Now with wrap functionality. Okay, so yeah,
that would be easy enough to implement.
we hit the bottom and we get a new.
Actually, that's a fun idea.
Yeah, with wrapping. Yeah, let's not do that just yet.
Oh, but it'd be easy.
Yeah, but it sounds weird. We could enable it as an option. Anyway.
Okay.
So we want to hit the bottom, right? We want to hit the bottom and get a new piece.
Okay.
So how does a piece detect that it has reached the bottom?
It would. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe the block manager detects that.
Maybe Tetris detects that.
Or Tetris, one or the other. Yeah, because Tetris would. So what it'd have to do is you'd have to Tetris would have to go through all the blocks that are in.
Maybe we detect it on a move down, so you can
see if they're adjacent to.
So here's
any
what
of the blocks that are in the block manager.
Yeah. So here's what I'm thinking. We check it on move down.
Mm-hmm.
We on move down we should ask the block manager, which means the piece needs to know about the block manager. We tell it, hey, in this down movement, are we hitting something? Is there something below our bottom, like our any of our pieces? If there's a block that's not us below any of our pieces, then we stop, right? Because then move down is the same method whether it's us or whether it's the periodic dropping of Tetris that does it. If they all call move down. Right?
Yeah.
So
the thing is all of our pieces are in the block manager.
Yeah, maybe we'll change that. Who knows? So I was thinking, ask block manager if we can move down.
Okay.
I mean, it could ignore our pieces, right? We could like tell it, as long as it's not one of our pieces, which is another check that we may not want to do. Alternately, you're right. Piece could have its own draw separate from the block manager draw, and then we don't add the pieces until we stop, and then we add them to the block manager. So yeah, we'll do it the way you originally suggested.
Okay.
So we'll do this. So we'll add this same draw into a piece. Right?
Okay.
So piece now has draw. And it's going to tell each of its pieces to draw. And then inside of Tetris, we don't add our pieces to the block manager right off the bat. So in our update, we do not do this. What we instead do is on here we say this dot piece draw.
And pass in the context.
Yep, this dot context. and then inside of the piece, at this point that I was talking about, so if false, because I haven't written the logic yet, then do that, right? So saving that, so we'll then say this block manager, so then we give the piece the block manager. And then when it hits the bottom, so it can ask the block manager, and then it can also so this block manager equals block manager. And then down here we can say this dot block manager add blocks to the pieces. So the idea is that we're not going to constantly move down. That move down is us clicking the button for move down. There will be delay in the update for it to drop. So there's like a number of frames go by between each drop is kind of what I'm thinking. Like a number of animation frames, I should say. Okay, so
this feels flawed.
what do you not like about it?
Well, somehow the piece needs to know it goes away. Like this will need to communicate back to somewhere that the piece is gone.
Yes, we need to in some way indicate the piece is gone.
And having a move down function do that feels weird.
Well, move down can set a condition about it.
Yeah. Basically, that's using a flag for that purpose.
We can have a. I mean, it's going to get triggered on move down, like because if the person moves it down, I mean that's just what's going to happen.
That's true. Yeah. So the move down is so we hit move down, and the conclusion is you can't move down. Therefore, you hit the end.
Yeah.
Piece goes away. Yeah. Okay. That feels okay now that.
Done moving.
Dead.
I was just thinking this, and then. Right?
Yeah.
So we move down, we say done moving equals true, which you can change it to dead if you like. And then, so the idea being that Tetris can check to see if it's done moving or dead, right?
Yeah.
So
the initial version of this thing would be this line on line 39 goes up in that logic.
Wait, this line on line 39 goes up in that logic?
Yeah, the inverted version of the sum version of this of line 39 it becomes part of the can I move down or not, because it means you've hit the bottom.
Yeah. It would become part of that. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So that basically is going away. So what we want to do is we want to check and see if it's almost like the lowest block on each of our x coordinates is above another block. When you move down, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I was saying if so grab lowest y for each x and check if it has something below it is basically what we're checking. Now we could just check all the blocks, right? And say, hey, if the block manager's managing anything, do you have anything below it? No. So Will, the idea is, so when you hit the bottom, it's safe. It's when you try to do the next movement down that it locks into position, Will. So what that would mean is that if it were automatically dropped, you still have a moment to move because it's going to be a delay on the dropping. It's really like this though, Will. So it's like an
Yeah.
if and an else. So we don't really need the return. We just need to do that.
And
So
then line 44 then goes up there on line 40.
Yeah.
And then line 43 becomes part of the can I move down or not logic. Because there's two reasons why you can't move down. One, there's a block in the way, or two, we've hit the bottom.
Yeah. So it's this. So this blocks if some of the blocks are greater than or equal to 19.
Well, they would never be greater than 19.
So if some of the blocks equal 19, then we add it to the list, we're done moving, and we get out, right?
Yeah, we could probably say, let's see, hit bottom.
Yeah, we can make that just be a hit bottom. You should have Guy Royse more often on the stream. I agree, Ace Flameseer.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm glad you like what we're trying to do here.
You should pair program with me. You would totally change your opinion.
And I love how we called it hit bottom. Like, yeah, we hit rock bottom right here.
Yeah.
This is the end. So we hit bottom, or yeah, this dot hit blocks. Yeah, hit block.
Hit obstruction.
Yeah, we'll just say hit block, right?
Yeah, let's put an underscore there.
And let's write hit block down here also, and that will be what actually uses the block manager to check for that.
Yeah.
So you type in there, buddy.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, you were on the line, so I'm like, I don't want to start typing because he's already there.
You go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
I actually need to take a brief break.
Okay.
5 minutes for a bio break.
Sounds good.
I'll be right back. Enjoy the view of my 70s wood paneling office.
If you guys don't want to see that, I can turn it off. But I will mute him while he's gone. Muted! Okay, so return this dot blocks dot. We hit a block if some of our blocks block this dot block manager contains block has at, we'll say has at location. Ed, the GitHub repo, if you want the link to be able to run this, it's on my GitHub account. So actually I can first do this. I can just link to my GitHub. Oh, the bot's not running. No. Well, let me kill and restart my bot then in a minute, and I will show you, Ed. So at location block.x block.y +1. Okay, so we're saying we hit a block if this thing's block have some that the block manager has at that location. Okay. Yes, Ed, that's where it is. It's DevChatter/GameJams. That is correct. You are right, sir. GitHub.com/DevChatter and GameJams, which I swear I have somewhere. Right here. So there's the actual like web version of it. So when we commit and push, it goes up there, so you can take a look at it there. Okay, so X, Y, at that location. So actually, let's localhost 5000. So we're going to go here, Tetris. You know, I really should have done something. It's not letting me go down right now, so I've worked up something. Hey, I think Guy's coming back. I'll probably unmute him in a second here.
Much better.
Guy's back. I think you all figured that out. I didn't define has at location. That's because I'm an idiot sometimes. I said if we hit bottom or we did that. So I need to go to block manager and create a has at location XY. And we'll say return this dot blocks dot sum block dot x equals x and block. Whoops. Thank you for the extra equals there. I appreciate it. Force a habit. I'm still a C# developer at heart. I usually spot them and fix them, but they're missable.
Yeah, I like on my particular version.
It automatically undoes it.
No, I've got the Fura code font installed, and so the triple equals is like a extra wide equal statement with 3 lines. It's actually kind of cool looking.
Oh, I didn't pass that in. That's what it's talking about. When we created the piece, we need to create the piece right there and pass it the block manager. So what I get for not paying attention. Piece had that in the constructor, right? Yes. Okay. Someone probably saying that in chat, huh? Probably should change blocks to 2D array in the block manager. Oh, yeah, well, we could do that. That would be a much faster way to check that. Okay, so we can move. We can go all the way down to the bottom. Add blocks of undefined.
What?
I did something stupid, I'm sure. This dot block manager. Didn't I set that? Oh, underscore block manager.
Undefined is undefined because it's undefined, not because it's defined as undefined.
That's important to know.
It is.
Cannot read property blocks of undefined on piece moved down line 36. This dot blocks. There we go. Okay, so now it should hit the bottom and it should add that set to it.
Which we have no way of observing visually. And it's still letting me left and right it because it doesn't care if it's dead or not.
Yeah, we didn't do anything when it's dead just yet.
Well, the in piece.
Adding blocks. So there it goes. It does add the blocks when we reach the bottom. Sorry, what in piece we do what now?
Yeah, in move down, we say done moving is true. But the piece still has.
Yeah, we didn't do anything with it yet.
Well, yeah, so we need to make it so that we can't move it when we get hits bottom. I think that's our next step.
Well, maybe sure, but maybe an update. We get rid of it. We replace it with a new piece that we're moving around.
Yeah.
Which we'll want to separate out the drawing logic from the update logic. So like the game loop and the drawing of it should be two separate things. Like we still draw in part of the game loop, but that code should not be in here.
Whereabouts here? You mean line 35 and 36 in block in tetris.js?
I was thinking these lines here need to go somewhere else eventually.
Okay.
But for now, we won't worry about that. We're just going to do this. So we're going to say this dot, actually, if, it's kind of like it's from Monty Python. What did we call it? Done moving? If this done moving, then
this equals new. Yeah.
So
This
that's a
dot
new
block
piece.
manager.
Oh, yep, and this dot block manager. Good call. And I think that's all we need to do then, right? And then we're controlling the new piece.
Yeah, I kind of want to do this.
You want to do that before it?
Yeah. Yeah, I see why you're saying that. Never mind. It's those 3 lines that need to get out of the Tetris thing. We need to have some sort of background class that draws the frame.
Or really just a screen drawing thing, something that manages the fact that we're drawing the screen.
Yeah.
So something that understands that.
So with this, then we should be able to move a piece down and have it stop, and then get a new piece in the same spot, and then have it, and it totally works.
Yeah, should just work. So let's refresh this, give it a try. So we hit the bottom, and then we get a new piece, and when we hit this bottom here, we get a new piece, and I can hit that one as well, I hope. Yep.
You can move sideways through them, however.
Ooh, and then I can get it stuck there. Oh, that's super useful. Look at these patterns I can make.
But yeah, if you move it all the way to the left, but don't move it all the way down, and then move right, you can. It still clips through the right. Yeah. See?
Yeah. So we're still allowing bumped into things. So we should check the same kind of thing in our left and right movement.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome everybody. Glad to see a couple of new faces there. Zentio and Premium Oregon. Welcome.
I think this comment in piece.js isn't needed anymore because the line 35 is pretty explicit. Would you agree?
The piece in where?
Right here.
There. Yep.
I don't think we need that anymore because our code is pretty expressive.
Our code is clear, yes. It's we said hit bottom or hit block. And actually we should, maybe we want to change how hit block work. Hit block and hit bottom. Yeah, hit, because we're saying hit, that's pretty clear.
I mean, hit block might actually be hit block.
Let's do this. So on these other ones, we're saying, so let's make these methods for can move left and can move right. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
All right, let's make those. I need to unanchor from. I was still anchored to you there for a second, which got weird.
Yeah.
So can move left. Do you want to grab that code and paste it in here for me?
Yeah.
Since I think you might be on it. Yep. Greetings, everyone. So this blocks everything. So this is that's can move left. If every block is away from the border. And this dot blocks, which I'm gonna do one of these. We can move left if some of them, I guess I could do it either way. Actually, we'll say if everyone, we'll do every on this also. So we'll say if every block in here, this dot block manager has at location, whoops. Why are you not completing that? There we go. That would be block.x. We want to go left, so that's -1. And block.y, right?
Yeah. And then we need exactly the same thing for can move right.
But only reversed.
Only reversed.
Yeah. So we're adding one. So let's do that. So we're going to say can move.
And I've got this right here. And then I'll get it up top here. and move right. There we go. That should be correct. Give it a shot.
Let's try it, yeah. Refresh this. Drop it down. Let's drop a few down. And let's try one of these. So I hit the wall, and it's fine. I hit that, and it's fine. So I cannot go through blocks anymore.
Yay.
Okay. We can't go through blocks, so hooray. Awesome. Good.
Okay.
Block manager. I'm going to remove the adding blocks because we now have the proof in that we get a new piece when we get to that. So the next big thing that we need is automatically dropping every once in a while. How do we want to do that? And let's commit this so everybody else gets the change.
Yeah. Do we want to do that, or do we want to eliminate a completed row?
Oh, yeah, let's eliminate completed rows first. And then
Yeah,
we'll
because
add
I envision testing this thing. It's like, oh crap, they all dropped. We got to try it again.
Yeah. Okay. So.
But yeah, let's commit it first.
Yeah. Do I have this in here? Does it know about it? No. All right. I'll deal with that in a second. Okay. Pushed up. People should get those changes soon. And we want to do clearing out rows at the bottom. So, what do you think? In update, we check for that?
No, sorry, I was checking the stream chat.
Oh.
Sorry. So I totally wasn't paying attention.
Oh, yeah, that's true. There are a couple of magic numbers we should get rid of. It's a good point.
Yeah, the left and right and bottom.
Yeah, so
I feel okay with the ones and zeros because it's all ones and zeros underneath anyhow, and so that's okay. No, well, I feel okay with them because they're representing directionality. Move one to the left,
Yeah, no. I'm good with the ones on that. That I don't mind because you're moving one space left. But we could pull that out as like movement. But I don't think in Tetris that we're going to be changing how much we move, and if we do, we can pull those out at that point.
Yeah, but like on line 46, 51, and 56, we've got some magic numbers there representing the size of the grid.
Yeah, we have grid size that we want to get rid of. So we can put that inside of another file, potentially, if you like, that we import in. That's the, just the metadata file or something like that for constants.
Do we use it anywhere else other than in piece?
Maybe not. So let's put them in here for now.
Because I think these move lefts, move rights they're gonna work regardless of the shape of the piece.
Sure. Yeah.
And so I think just putting them at the top of piece is probably fine.
Okay. Cool. Yep. Let's do it.
I'm actually kind of inclined to say when we define our different shaped pieces, putting them all in this file is probably okay.
Yeah, I would agree.
So
we'll put them all inside of piece.js, and they'll be different piece types.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll do const. What do we want to call it? Bottom row equals 19.
Yeah.
Const. Right column.
Yeah, that works.
Whoops.
Equals 9, and left column equals 0.
Yeah, we can do those. If we can do the zeros if you want to. Const left col equals 0, and we can reorder these two. Const top row equals 0.
I'll go ahead and add that down here.
Sounds good.
There we
The question about is JavaScript used for hacking? I mean, technically, yes. Any programming language can technically be used for hacking. Don't think there's.
go. I actually prefer to use an axe or a hatchet for hacking, but you know.
Ha ha.
Womp womp womp.
Yeah, we don't use top row anywhere, do we? Not really.
No. Although I think we could use it on lines 11, 12, 13, and 14.
True.
So we could define the starting position relative to, you know what I mean?
Yep. Top row +1.
Yeah.
And then these are.
Yeah.
It's
not very helpful there.
I mean, it is because we use it's the right column, right?
Well, no, it'd be left column +4, which is sort of the same thing.
It's this is that divided by 2?
Except that's going to give you 4.5.
And then we do this twice in ceiling one and floor the other.
Right.
What is it? Is it math.ceil?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe someone knows a better way to do that. Except this one's supposed to be floor.
It would have worked either way.
Yeah, it would work either way, but that's the way I wrote it.
Yeah.
So we do that one, and then this one is. This one's the ceil. There we go. So that ought to put the block in the middle, so that's how we make a square.
Oh, yeah. So, you know, you're saying pieces. Yeah, the piece.js probably becomes pieces.js, doesn't it? I think that's what you're saying.
What? No, this is piece.js because it's a piece. And, the JS. Yeah, sorry.
The file name will become pieces.js because it'll have the abstract piece superclass.
Yes. Yep, that's fair.
It feels like I'm talking about, like, you know, abstract piece. You know, it feels like a sociology term. And then we'd have other pieces defined in that pieces.js. Still draw things where we want them?
Seems to.
I actually think that the timer function is probably like the last thing we really need to add, the auto dropping.
Yeah, let's clear out a row. Let's clear out any rows that are full.
Okay.
So why don't we just call the block manager and just say block manager dot clear complete rows, and we'll have it and it could even return back number of rows cleared or something like that.
Yeah. So what is this going to look like? Clear.
I'm gonna anchor to you for a second. There we go.
Rows.
Just super useful to be able to do.
I'm trying to think what's this gonna. What do we want to do here? Because our array of blocks are going to be in any old order.
Array of blocks are going to be in any old order.
Well, they just get added.
Oh, yeah. That's actually why Will was suggesting maybe we want to switch this to a two-dimensional array of blocks.
Yeah.
Which we can do.
Well, we could just actually, honestly, you could do this with a. You could literally just do this with a nested for loop, or some equivalent, or you could, it's like, okay, for the first row, do we have them all? For the next row, do we have them all?
Sure. So like just do a like a regular style for loop.
Yeah, I
over
mean,
the
yeah, and for let index equals 0, right?
yeah.
Index is equal to is less than 19, or 19 less than or equal to 19.
And we would do exactly. So we
Which
could
is,
technically
again,
do that, but I'm not a huge fan of that one.
I'm not either. But then inside of it, what you could do is you could say, this dot blocks dot every
No,
block.
we don't want to do an every. We want
No.
we want to find out if every
Yeah. We want to do a find.
so let's just switch
the,
it to hang on. Let's switch it to a two-dimensional array. We'll switch to a two-dimensional array first.
I think that's going to change a lot. Our add blocks is going to change significantly.
Yes, our add blocks.
That's just trading complexity here with complexity in add blocks.
It's not all that complex because
yeah, we have an array with every space, and it says whether there's a block there or not.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yep. You got it. So essentially, all we're doing then is down at that point, we're just counting the number. So we're just saying for everyone in that row. So we're checking. So it would be like for each row, check that everything in the column of that row has a block. Right?
Yeah.
So it's not null or undefined or something like that.
Oh. That's going to mess with a has at location as well, because we won't be able to just loop through the array of blocks and look.
Yeah, but we can just look at that location. It'll be a two-dimensional array. So it's lightning fast to check it there.
What about the fact that this guy doesn't have any blocks now, so the draw won't be able to rely on the block to draw itself? So line 11. That'll definitely break.
Hang on. Make grid be separate. Right?
I guess. You just want a one-dimensional array there, and that would be an array of arrays.
Yeah, exactly. So essentially, then we would just be making the grid this way, right?
Yeah, I mean, so I think there's really two choices here. Choice one is that we do what I say.
Do what I say.
Do what I say. Yeah, that shortcut for we just loop through the all the rows and say, is this row complete? Is this row complete? Or option, and then the blocks know how to draw themselves and know their location. Then the block manager is just responsible for interrogating those blocks. Option two is that the block manager is responsible for drawing all the blocks, and the block class goes away. And then the block manager just has a grid. I mean, in some ways, I've done both of these variations when doing, like, on Global Day of Code Retreat with doing the game of life, right? There's two ways to do the game of life. You can define a grid, or you can just define all the locations of the grid and say, are you next to anything?
Yeah.
And those are really the two things we're exploring. I found with game of life, it's better to not define the grid, because then they can go infinitely in all directions. We don't actually have that requirement for Tetris.
No.
But I'm actually feeling biased towards my own solution, but not because it's mine. But I think the code to just check each row is going to be easier to understand. Maybe not though. That's going to be hairy.
Yeah, so I was just thinking, like, if we just we could just make a grid of these, and then so one of the options is to just draw every spot whether or not there's a block there or not. Um, yeah, because then if we're clearing, so
Yeah.
we'd have to clear the whole row and shift everything down. So I guess we would just shift a new row onto the top. I like the idea of storing them on the 2D array because then you can just insert a new row at the beginning and remove the bottom row and you're done, right? Or remove whatever row is the one.
Oh yeah.
You just splice out the whole row and then add a new row at the top.
Yeah, otherwise you're doing all kinds of complex calculations to figure out how everything drops.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is a mess.
Yes. So coordinates instead come from the block manager. When the blocks get added in, we set their coordinates based on where they are, and the block no longer cares about its coordinate. It's now part of this.
Well, what it means there aren't any blocks.
Yeah, they effectively aren't a block anymore. They're part of this.
Blocks only exist in a piece.
Well, keep in mind that they maintain the color of whatever they were is usually the way Tetris plays. So which is you don't have to maintain that, but it looks cool when they all.
No, we want to maintain that.
Yeah, maintain their color. So this keeps track of a block, and you don't have to. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah, will. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. We just clear out a row. I was actually going to say we splice out a row. We don't set it to like we want to remove the whole row because then we can shift down and we're not busy moving objects. Yeah, we splice the whole one out and add a new one at the top.
No, so we add the blocks to the row into the two-dimensional array, and if the array contains say null, then there's not a block there.
Correct. Yep. Exactly. And
we should totally use null and not undefined because undefined has a different purpose in JavaScript.
Yes.
Okay. I'm on board.
Yeah. Okay. So how do we initialize an array with a whole bunch of nulls? 2D array with nulls. Recently. JavaScript. I did it recently in C#.
I did it recently in JavaScript in what was the thing I was doing? Was it Deep Learning Like a Viking where I did that? Yeah, it was.
Fill with the value. So hang on, someone suggests doing this, and I agree with someone on the internet that tells me a thing. I want to make 20 rows. And then, wait, what?
Yeah, I know. I just did this recently, and the way I Googled around, found a solution, and I thought it was really elegant.
Sorry, 20.
Yeah, it was Phil.
We want to map, and then this is. So each one in this needs to be a new array, right? And is it just array or is it new array?
Oh, I always just use square brackets, but array at 20 dot. Yeah. And then dot fill. Whoops.
And fill it with nulls.
Explicitly, yeah.
Yeah.
And we actually
don't. Can I do that then, since we're not using the X?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. We don't actually use whatever value was initially in that array because we don't care.
Well, can't we just say array of 20.fill?
I don't know, maybe. Oh, yeah, probably.
And then fill it with an array of, and just, yeah, replace that with new. So we're filling an array of 20 with an array as of 10 that are full of null in the house that Jack built.
Let me just make sure this runs okay. Like we don't get any errors.
That's probably a good call.
Because that's in the constructor, right? So if there were an issue, it would tell us immediately. Because it ran. Okay. All right. So we have that. Now, what do we want to do with it? Because this gets weird now. So we want to. So let's keep using both for now. So when we add blocks, let's add them at their location. So.
Okay.
So we're going to say blocks for each. So we're going to assume that these blocks are safe to add wherever they're getting added for now.
Yeah.
Block. Oops. So each block we get, we're going to say this dot grid, and that is first thing's the 20. This is the y, so it's block dot y. Right. Yeah. And then block dot x. And then equals block.
Yep.
Does that look right? So
yep.
For each block we add in, we put it at its yx coordinate and assign it to that space. Okay. That looks right to me. So drawing is going to get weird, and we're really going to say we want to do a filter on the draw and say that's not null, and then draw the ones that are not null.
Yes, it'd be.
So let's do that as a separate one. So we'll draw it side by side. So this is, whoops, that's not blocks, that's grid. Oh no, I did it right. So that was grid.
Yeah, this dot grid dot for each.
Well, we want to filter first, right?
No, because we're starting out with the rows.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Yep.
We need to loop through each row.
Yep. So this is for each row. Yeah. I can't type. Row dot filter. And then this would be. That's true. We could just use the null object pattern instead. So, but then we have to detect if it's there or not. So I guess we can make that a non-block.
Let's get this working by doing a filter and then refactor to allow a null block pattern. Have a null block.
Okay.
Let's do it in 2 steps because that is a good idea.
Yep.
But
sounds good. So we'll filter. Well,
I mean, and we could even just sort of hack this together with a row dot for each, and then say if it's not null, draw.
For each block dot what do we say? Draw.
Yeah. And then the context.
This dot. Is it not context? Oh, it's just CTX.
Yeah.
Because we passed that in as a parameter right here. This doesn't have it, but it gets it. Okay, so then we're saying this.
Okay, so I'm going to refactor this to make it a little more readable.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
Go for it. Yep. Go.
This. Yeah. And then, hang on. Actually, this is probably more readable as a single line. How many?
You need one. You wanted to leave one more up there.
Yes, I did. That feels like it's a little easier to read.
Yep, I agree. That is easier to read. Yep.
I think this is probably even slightly better. I really want to do 2 spaces there.
Oh, I would have done this, and then is that really how far it wants to put it? Okay, I would have done that.
Yeah. I've done this pattern a lot in JavaScript when I'm cascading these things down, and I always use 2 spaces. I do it like that, and
That's
which
fine.
I think is kind of readable.
Semicolon there, and then we're good.
Where?
Right there, where you are.
Yeah.
Because you put it inside of curly's, so it gets it again.
So we're filtering out the nulls, and then we're doing drawing each of them.
Okay, so I'm going to remove that line and this line, and the next thing we need is this has at location, which is return this dot grid y x does not equal null.
Yeah.
So it has something at location if there's a non-null there. And we can leave the rest alone. We can get rid of... Wait, did I nuke the wrong thing? No, I didn't. So blocks is gone. It now just keeps track of the grid. There we go.
Yeah, Will, you're right. Having the filter there is, we could just do a check in for each to see if it's null or not, and then hit draw.
That's a good point. Yeah.
But if we're switching to the null object pattern, this is going to go away.
It'll disappear in a second
soon,
anyway.
so.
Yes, good point. Good point. So we won't worry about it. So bringing that down there. Whoop! I went past the. We got a problem.
Oh, what do we do?
We let it go off screen.
I mean, what did you do?
What did you do? Oh man, you totally broke it, dude.
Man, I'll be glad one of these days when my
it totally rotated. Yeah, it did. It did.
Yeah, it's rotating.
Yeah.
Like a crazy person.
Yeah, no, we rotated that square. I promise you. I promise you, we rotated that square.
Twirling, always twirling.
I wouldn't lie. Yeah, I wouldn't lie. All right. So what did we do? We said hit bottom. This blocks for each. Hang on. That checks on this blocks, right? This thing's own blocks, bottom row. Why did it not count as hitting the bottom? So we get down to the bottom, right? And I can click through it. And I'm still moving the one down below the screen. What'd we break here, Guy?
We've got an off by 1 error.
Where's our off by 1 error?
I don't know. It's just the behavior of it suggests it to me.
But it created it at the right time.
Because the first time it goes down one deeper than it should.
All right, let's take a look.
Then it starts moving the wrong one, and
so let's bring this over here. So where are we? So move down. So that's where we would add the blocks. Otherwise, we're gonna move the blocks down. Let's check hit bottom, and you know what? I don't want to put those there really. I realized. Let's move all the way down to the bottom, and then I'll do that. So now I expect to hit the bottom. Well, not the first time. Actually, I'll move one more, and now I want to hit the bottom.
Which we do.
Or hit a block. I should, yeah. So let me drop my breakpoints here. We're gonna drop a breakpoint on that. So move down. Okay, we're paused in the debugger. Okay. So let's step into this. Hit bottom. Bottom row is 19. What's the return value when I get this? Can I see that?
Of the inline function?
Yeah.
Probably not. I'm not sure how to get Chrome to do that.
Well, alternately, we can do this just to make sure that we have it. We can say let result equal, and then just return the result.
Yeah.
I can sort of cheat that for now.
That's not a bad plan.
It
should remember your breakpoints.
It does.
Sort of.
Whoops, don't want that one or these ones just yet. So now when I get down to the bottom, I want to drop the breakpoint actually on that one. There it goes. Okay.
And result is?
It says true. We hit the bottom. Okay.
Okay.
So go to the next thing. So we said hit bottom. So we don't even check if we hit a block. We come in here. We tell it to add the blocks, which it should have done. Which actually, now that I think about it, we can look at its grid. It should have them in the bottom row. Oh no! Whoa! It added them to every row. Block, 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 blocks everywhere.
Okay.
Oh yeah, right. I forgot about that. Thanks, Will. So first off, we did that wrong. The next thing is we say done moving, right? Which means we should come out here. And if I drop a breakpoint and update, we should come in here. Piece is done moving. We should create a new piece. And we want to call complete rows.
Yeah.
Which shouldn't do anything yet, right? We left that empty, I think. Why'd the piece move down again? Yeah, so that's a good point. We can add a don't move down if you. So we'll put in a safety. If this dot done moving return, so a little safety in all the movements. That way we don't try to move a block that we shouldn't be moving. Let's see if that safety, whoops, I do not want that breakpoint anymore, which I guess I could do the disable breakpoint things that was suggested. Nope, it keeps going off the screen. We didn't lose it. No, Will, hitting the bottom is the bottom. It's not, it's at the last spot. Hitting the bottom means you've connected and you're done moving. So there's no more left-right movement once you hit. So that's the difference. The sliding that you still get in Tetris, you cannot do that anymore once you connect. So that is by Tetris. We should stop allowing left and right. What do we... something's still wrong. Have you found anything?
No, I've been looking at the block manager because it's the only thing we changed.
The only thing we significantly changed.
Well, it's the only thing. I mean, it worked before we messed with the block manager. Have we touched anything else?
Yes. We changed piece and Tetris a little bit each.
Okay, what did we do in piece here? I mean, other than this done moving.
Hang on one second. Let me.
The line 59 in piece.js says this blocks that for each. No, no, that's supposed to be there.
Yeah, it's the other
Okay.
one's blocks. On stream, game jams, source, root. There it is. So what did we change? We changed row cleared, so that's not a big change. Piece. We changed how we create a new block, but that shouldn't matter. That's just the extraction of a constant. That really shouldn't have mattered. Bottom row is definitely still 9, and left column is definitely 0. Left column 0, bottom row's 19, sorry. Right column is 9. Yep. So that's not the change.
Well, so what's happening is that as the block's moving down through, it's leaving behind blocks that shouldn't be there anymore. So when we move the block down, we probably get the same thing. We move it left and right. I haven't tried that yet. Let me try that. I'm going to look through the code here.
Are you thinking we can move off the borders on the left and right?
No, I think we're leaving a hidden trail behind us of blocks that don't draw. Or something like that.
Well, clearly there are blocks that don't draw to my left that I'm bumping into.
Yeah.
So let's look at how we added the blocks, because we know that there's something wrong with that. For each block, add at block Y and let's toss a breakpoint on that, actually.
Okay, let me watch your screen here again.
So block manager, add blocks. We should separate that out in some way to make that easier to watch. So we don't add blocks until we hit the bottom, I hope. And then there we go. So that locks in. So we have 4 blocks that we want to add, and they're at 18, 19, and 0 and 1.
That's correct, yeah.
This is a fully null grid.
Yeah.
As we expect. This is adding which block? That's adding 0, 18 right now, so first block. And yeah, and so that's at row 18, column 0. That's correct. We should add a block. We should add a block at 18, 0. One at 118. 118. Why is that adding the blocks multiple times?
Because it's going into the function that's inside of the for each. I think something like that. There's only 4 blocks. I think it's doing it twice. I think it's an artifact of the debugging tool.
But we know we're adding it multiple times.
So what's the grid look like at this point?
Fully loaded through all the arrays. So every row has a block at that coordinate location. So we have invisible non-drawn blocks at all those spots.
Yeah. As soon as it's dead.
Yeah. So it put the blocks in all those spaces. Now which blocks, I wonder? Zero 19 in that one. 0, 19 in that one. Oh, you're right. Each row's the same instance. Oh, we didn't create new instances when we created our two-dimensional grid. Will is correct. Our grid creation is wrong. This filled the same array in each time. So that put an instance of this same array into each one.
That's right.
Yeah, that's why we need to map this.
Yeah, okay.
Instead of filling it, we need to map it. But we need to... Yeah, exactly. Hey, Shockers. Yeah, we goofed that up nicely there. So we want to do... I think it's this. Hang on. This dot grid. Thank you, interwebs. So we want to do a 20. We fill it with nulls. So, and then we can map that to a new array of 10s that we fill with nulls. So let's see if that works. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's go all the way down to the bottom. There we go. And I can go over here now. Hey, there we go.
This is why the people who do JavaScript all the time go home at night and cry.
Cool. All right. So we have other problems of trying to create a block where there's another block, and that's the game over screen, but we don't have to worry about that just yet. But for now, this works again. So this is definitely worthy of a commit.
Yes. A wise person once told me that if you feel like doing a high five, it's time to commit.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so switch to blocks on 2D array. Yay. You're allowed 2 mistakes. Use them wisely.
I've got bad news.
What? What? Do we have a new mistake?
No. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you're only allowed two mistakes,
no, that's how many we have left.
Everyone's
That's how many
screwed.
Yeah. Okay, so we wanted to clear out rows.
Yes, that's what we were trying to do.
So
okay, so the row clearination is going to be we just check each row and see if it's clear, or see if it's full, right? So this dot grid dot I guess this is a for each, isn't it?
Or don't we just want to splice out completed rows?
Well, we need to find out if the row is completed first.
So
we could do a.
Let's do a filter then.
That's what I was just gonna say. We could do a filter.
Yeah.
And then we can say row dots. Row dots. Every. Block. Block not equal to null.
We need to check the rows where the piece is.
Now, by this point, the piece will be fully locked down, and it will have become part of the blocks.
Yeah.
So good.
Will is correct. We only actually need to check the row where this happened, but.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm checking them all.
But it doesn't really matter. We can do this anyway, so I wouldn't worry about it. The amount of performance of checking all the rows is not going to kill us for now. We can optimize that later.
Okay, so I'm going to do this as a. Let's say if every, then
return true. What do you want to do?
Yeah, I guess that's never mind. Okay, so I code real good.
Well,
Okay.
the question, yeah, so that should get us completed rows. So let's do this. Like complete rows equal that, right?
Yes. And no, well, yeah. And then we need to say we need to get we can return completed rows dot length, right?
Yeah, we'll return completed rows dot length.
Oh, it'd be 20 minus. Because the completed rows are okay.
Wait, what?
Hang on.
Wait, filter, get every row where, wait, get filter, so get the rows where every block is not null. Yeah. So we want to return back completed rows dot length, not 20 minus.
Well, we want to clear them out too.
Yeah, but we're going to say what that is. Clearing it out is separate. We just want to say how many we completed. How many got cleared all at once.
I was confused because the function is called clear complete rows. So that's what I was implementing. Do we? Is this clearing them, or is this returning counting them, or is it doing both?
Well, it returns the count when you do it. It's how many it cleared.
Right.
So
this has counted how many rows are complete. It hasn't told them which. It has identified which rows are. It's given us completed rows back using filter, but I think what we actually want is we want the incomplete rows back, and then we can just add new rows at the top of the array, and then the grid will now be up to date.
So hang on. Here, no. Because what I was gonna do is we were gonna add them in here. So I wanna this is so yeah. So name might be confusing you. Might be what it is. So I want to say this dot grid.
Yeah.
Index of complete row, right? So actually, let's do a complete rows dot for each. Excuse my X for now.
Yeah.
We'll fix that later. So find the index of this one, which actually, let's do this inside of one of these. So for each one of these, we're going to say, whoops, get the index. So this is let index to remove equal that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what I want to say is, first off, let's make sure that it's not -1. So if index to remove is greater than -1.
Yeah.
Whoops. Tab. And then we want to say this dot grid splice index to remove 1. And it'll splice out the one we want for each one of these.
What I was suggesting is if we filter for the ones that are not complete, then we get a new array back that is the ones that aren't complete, and then we just splice.
Oh yeah, then we don't even have to splice at all. Yeah.
Yeah, that was where I was
That's a great
going.
idea. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that works. So this instead of being complete rows, this would be maintained rows.
Yeah.
So rows to keep.
Yes.
At which point,
and then we just have to invert the
count removed equals 20 minus rows to keep dot length, and we remove int let.
I didn't even see that.
My C# is showing. Sorry guys, lewd stream now. Okay,
and then, and then we need to change this condition up here. So
grid dot
row dot sum So if there is a null in the row, it is by definition not complete.
Correct. Yes. So
And so
we'll
that
do
gives
that.
us, and then this dot grid is equal to rows dot keep. Rows dot to keep plus an array equal to the number removed at the top of it.
So we can
concat here probably.
we want to concat like 2 arrays or something like that. So
yeah, so we say
and this is going to be like a new array.
Except concat is going to put it at the end of grid.
We
want to
we
precat.
Yeah. Okay.
In essence, I'd say this dot grid equals, because concat returns a copy, so it'd be.
Is there a way to
here?
Well, hang on. Can't we just splice in the new one?
Yeah, we could do that too. We can also do a what is it? Array. There's a. You can do a push. There's a shift. Which
True.
What's the opposite of shift? There's a splice is probably the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, we can just splice it in, right?
Yeah, that's one way to do it. I was looking for the opposite of like there's concat and then there's like concat at the beginning. I know there's shift, which is the opposite of pop. What's the opposite of push?
So we want to do, well, hang on. Why don't we just do this? Why don't we just do splice 0, 0, and then the items to add, which is rows to add, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that all? Isn't that how we do it? Yeah, sorry. So
I think so. I always have to look splice up.
Rows to add. Oh, you kidding? I just make the mistake. I just make the mistake and then fix it later. It's way easier. So how do we make our new empty rows? Same thing we did before. So this.
Yeah, we need to do it the same way.
So it's count removed, which maybe we should pull that into a little helper method. Fill with count removed and concat that with rows to keep and assign to this dot grid. But I can just do this. Unshift. Yeah, that's what it is. Thanks, Horvdan.
Thanks. That's what I couldn't remember. Yeah, obviously unshift. Duh.
Yeah, shift and unshift. Duh. All right, so
I think that works.
Why don't I make I want to make a helper though.
Yeah, it's a little messy.
Add empty rows. Count of the empty rows to add. And we will say, because we could just splice them on every single time, right?
Yeah, I mean, we'd be splicing an array of. We'd be splicing an empty array to it.
No, what I mean is this dot add empty rows count removed, which we can call this only if removed was greater than 0, right?
Yeah.
Oops. Add empty rows, but the reason I wanted to write that is so that I can do this. And since we're splicing it on, I need to make that empty, right? Does that look right to you, Guy?
Yeah. Yeah, you've taken that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I see what you're doing.
yeah, we were gonna do this thing twice. I'm like, no, let's not do that twice.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
the only difference was the count that we pass in. So let's see if that works. I don't know. I don't know if that'll work. We're about to find out if this works. Refresh the page. Wait, what? Wait, hang on. My numbers aren't working at all. I'm totally borked right now. Block, draw, B is not a function.
We got a syntax error somewhere.
Yeah, we messed up something with block on the grid. Hang on, I borked something. Wait, it only has 2? Wait, hang on. Why does it only have 2 rows? Oh, I made 2 arrays of 20. I spliced it on wrong. Start, delete count, and then items. So I started at 0, I deleted none, and I added in those items. I guess I could.
Can you concat? Hey, Will's saying we should be using concat.
I mean, we can.
But it'd be this.grid equals rows to add dot concat this.grid. That's probably easy to think about.
We could also unshift them on, right?
Yeah, or we could reverse it and push it on.
Well, yeah, but we would like that just adds to the beginning, right? So.
Yeah. But concat does the same thing. So it turns into this.grid equals rows to add dot concat
this.grid, yeah.
Which is actually pretty easy to wrap your head around.
Yeah. Okay, let's give it a try. See if that gets it. Hey, there it goes. Okay.
Splice is one of those weird. You know, it's one of those things where I always have to remember these really old school JavaScript functions like splice were written by Brendan Eich in like a week.
I got a slight problem here.
What's that?
Somehow I was able to slide through some blocks that didn't actually get undrawn. Watch. Go down to the bottom. Go down to the bottom. Go down to the bottom. And I can go all the way down and watch what happens after I get this one. Blocks have now been removed, so I can get into them. They're gone, but I can still get in here.
Oh, it's because after we cleared, we didn't redraw.
It shouldn't matter. We always redraw based on what's there. It's constantly updating, remember? We have a loop that updates and redraws and clears the board.
Yeah, that's weird.
Oh yeah, Horvdan, I totally forgot about that. You are right. That would be an awesome way to do it.
What's that?
Because they have the spread operation.
Oh, the spread operator, yeah.
You know, make it into a whole set instead of the individual array, and then you can just make 2 arrays out of it and put them together. It does the same thing as concat, but this is fine for now. So
I always forget about that too.
rows. Oh wait, hang on. We never got rid of them. So we added on the new rows and didn't get rid of the old one. I think it's the problem. We didn't. Did we not? I don't think we spliced them away anymore. Did we?
Yeah, because up here we need to say.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we didn't actually. Rows to keep didn't go in there or anything.
Actually, let's not even bother with rows to keep. We don't need those anymore, right?
Right. Yes.
Yeah, we don't need it.
Yeah.
So there was our problem. Let's refresh this. So drop one over there. Drop one here. Drop one there. One there. And this should be able to go straight down. Boom! There we go. Perfect. The rows disappeared.
I made the row disappear, but
Hang on.
it's still doing something weird on mine. So I drew a row, but then stacked something on it before you finish the bottom row.
Hang on, let me take a look. I'm gonna do that. Okay, cleared out those. So the multi-level thing, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna clear out the row below it, right there, and then those blocks. Ooh, they don't shift down.
Yeah.
You're right, because we didn't redo them. So you're right. We're not quite doing that right. So that was, you're right. That's why we were splicing it out, because that would remove them. Oh, we're still drawing at the coordinates. We're still drawing at the coordinates the block thinks it's at. That's the problem.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the block is drawing where it thinks it is. That's the problem. Hey.
Yeah, well, yeah. So we need to take the drawing functionality out of the block.
Well, yeah. I guess we could put it on piece instead of block. If we have,
or maybe the block manager.
So block manager would get draw and piece would get draw if we did that. But I like it being on block, but we might have to tell the block where it is.
Maybe after we clear completed rows, we just reinform all the blocks where they're at.
And we could tell the blocks where they, yeah, that's a good point. We could tell them where they are. We could just go through for every block and tell it where it is.
No, you're here.
Yeah. You're here now?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a brute force approach.
We only do it if we're in here, so we say like set new block locations. This dot set new block locations, like that. And then we can do a go through the whole grid. Say this dot grid for each row.
Yeah, and I believe for each has one of the arguments it passes into the function that it calls is.
You can pass in the index.
I think the index is one of them. So I'm looking right now. I can't remember what order they're in. So the for each
its index is the
current
next
value
one.
index and then the array. So
yeah,
I wasn't sure what order they were in.
Yep. So for each row, we want to do that, and then row dot for each.
Yeah.
And we'll say column space
block
space. It's not necessarily. It may not be a block.
Oh, well, eventually it will because it'll be a null block.
True. Each block, and let's say X on it as well.
Go ahead.
Do that, and then we'll say if block does not equal null. Whoops. tab, block.
Block.x equals x, block.y equals y.
Set, oh yeah, x equals x, block.y equals y. So force each one where it needs to go. Need to pass the starting row to set new block locations. Only need to adjust the blocks above it. Oh, that's true. Yeah, we could short circuit that by saying which row to start on even. But for now, this ought to work. There are a lot of little optimizations we can eventually do. Lots of little optimizations. Okay, so we were saying if we do this, where we stack a few up there, and then we clear out this bottom row. Bonk. Hey, there we go. It did it.
Yay.
So let's get that committed.
Yes.
Y set X should just be... Oh, yeah, that's true.
No, we don't need to set X.
Yeah, we don't need to set
Y.
X. We just need to set Y. That's true. Because X doesn't change when you do that. And on the Y, yeah, we do know it's +1, and so if we pass in the value and start at a location, we could do that, but we can also just set the Y equal to where it is on the grid. And this is a good, like, refresh and sure nothing went wrong also. Because we have the value regardless, because we're looping over it.
Yeah, I don't think we want to optimize that code until we see a performance problem, which...
status get add...
I doubt we will, but...
What did we just do? Clear rows correctly.
Yeah.
Clear rows when full. And in theory, that should get pushed up and updated out on the site, which is neat. I love that trick. It was a good idea.
Thanks.
Yeah, because then we also just get the, like, oh yeah, we're running it in .NET Core, but it doesn't really matter. That's just how we're hosting it locally. The site's actually just what's in that www root.
Cool. Excuse me. So what do we want to do next? Do we want to do pieces?
I was going to wrap here, actually, and because I got to get taken off.
What's that? Oh, you got to wrap it up?
Yep. That's what I was saying. I was going to duck out before 6, so... Anyway, I want to make sure that I thank Guy for coming on and doing this with us. That works pretty well. We need to start counting these, getting points for that. And
points.
Yeah, I like it. We tackled a bunch of problems that I think are not going to be in the next game jam because a lot of this was figuring out how to get this site up and running the way that we wanted it to.
Yeah.
So, looks good. What other stuff do I want to make sure I mention? Obviously I'm streaming again on Thursday, and it's actually a Learn to Code stream. Guy, do you even know that I do Learn to Code streams?
I did know that.
Okay.
I haven't looked that closely at what you're doing there, but I was aware that you were doing that.
Yeah, so I do those from time to time. I know. Are you interested in learning to code at some? No, I'm just teasing. Yeah. So. Yeah, no, so I'm doing that on Thursday, so should be fun. Yeah, no, I like having Guy on the stream. He's a good dev. So trying to think if there's anything else I want to mention. Oh, I should post things to all my things. Like, if you are in here and you haven't clicked the follow button, you should. Also want to make sure that everybody checks out our Discord, which is a chat application where you can chat with me and the other people here on DevChatter. There are a bunch of us in there. Interesting discussions from time to time if you want to talk about dev stuff. If you want to look at this code or any of the other code we do here on the stream, you can find all of that out on GitHub. github.com/devchatter, linked over there. Someone asked a while ago if this content was recorded. It is recorded. It's here on Twitch in the videos section that you can find up above the stream. Or if you're in an app, there's a video tab or something like that. But we also have archives of all the videos over on YouTube. And you can follow me on Twitter, either with the links in the chat or I'm at Brendonius right here. And we have someone else here that you should be following on Twitter as well. His name is Guy Royse, and on Twitter you can find him at Guy Royse. Guy, anything else you want to tell people about you or anything like that?
Well, if anyone's in Ann Arbor or Minneapolis, I'll be in Ann Arbor on Monday, speaking about WebAssembly at the Southeast Michigan JavaScript group. And on the 19th, I think, of December, I'll be at the JavaScript Minnesota meetup in Minneapolis, Minnesota in December. I'm told you shouldn't go to Minneapolis in December, but I'm going to brave the Great White North anyhow. And I'm going to be speaking. I'm going to be giving my deep learning like a Viking talk. So if anyone's in those areas, you can go check me out. Come up and say hi. Tell me you saw me on the stream. That'd be pretty cool. And I'll record those talks, and so a version of them will get out onto the internet eventually if those sound interesting to anyone listening. But yeah, that's what I got coming up. So yeah, and plug my talks, right?
Yeah.
So
Sounds good.
But thanks for having me. I always appreciate it. It's fun. This has been the second time now. I swear I'm going to start live streaming on my own. I plan to start at the beginning of January, so it is on my list and on my radar.
Don't specify the year, and you're good.
It's definitely going to be a January.
Yeah,
definitely
a January.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best part about that was I talked with Guy originally about coming onto the stream in mid-April, and we managed to get him on the stream in October, so that was good.
Yeah.
We did well. That was on both of us.
Yeah.
So anyway,
well, it was kind of crazy at the time. In April is when my company was Nexosis was acquired by Data Robot.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot going on that summer.
And I only kind of knew that was going on.
Yeah, so a lot of acquisitions happening. Well, not a lot. A acquisition happening. It's very disruptive to the day job. So, so that was part of that too. But yeah, no, I plan to start at the beginning of January. Hopefully the Monday night before Code Mash, because that's ambitious.
Yeah, that's a good time to do it. It's not. That'd be a terrible idea.
It's a terrible idea, but I'll try. I hope to do like something starting early in January. So.
Okay. Well, sounds good. We will definitely be hosting you whenever that starts up. And I want to thank everybody for showing up today. It was a nice, what is this, Tuesday? This is Tuesday, right? Nice Tuesday of coding. Happy coding, everyone, and we will see you next time.
Ciao.